Whew, that is one fast 5-minute countdown. Maybe I should make it like 6 minutes and 34 seconds. I don't know. That time is not playing around. All right, let me open the chat, the chitty chat. Oh man, have I made some changes and some updates, and we'll go over them all here in one quick second. Let me just make sure I am logged in and I can see people talk. Oh yeah, see, that's way more space. Okay. Go like this, and then go like this. There we go. And enable and check. Okay, looks good. Alrighty. Hi, how you doing? How you be? Talk to the AB. I am absolutely sick right now. Have a migraine, have a headache, have a couple injuries that are nagging me, but the show must go on here. I was like, okay, I'll just do like kind of a lighter day, and then one thing led to another. And do not update to the latest NVIDIA drivers. CPU usage goes up to 14%. You know what? Not you. Hi. I actually updated to the latest NVIDIA drivers, and it actually caused an issue on stream. The next time I did my stream, I ended up having a problem, and my screen would freeze in and out, and it would be laggy. Exactly. And it would freeze me, and I wouldn't know what was going on. And then it started to make my audio desync. It was bad. I had to go back down to the previous version, and I'm still on the previous version and actually haven't taken the upgrade. So yeah, I'm on the exact same page. I think that like the newest one, the one that came out maybe like a week ago, is when I noticed that problem. So yeah, good looking out, Inacho. I ran into that exact same problem. But yeah, today has been quite a day. My name is Anthony, or TheOpenForum. We don't actually play video games on this channel. Instead, we actually troubleshoot people who have problems with video games, or technical support, or PCs, or Mac, or Linux. I don't think we have a range. Like, our range is like this when it comes to troubleshooting technical issues. So if you got a problem, just go ahead and put it in chat. We'll be able to see it. Eventually, I'll move over so that we can actually do live chats and people can call in and ask questions as well. And we can do like streams and stuff like that. That will be coming here pretty soon. Working towards that. And without further ado, what I have been doing over the weekend is kind of cool. So I essentially switched around my computer. Okay, I ran into a few problems. All right, so there's a few things that it needs to be discussed. Okay, one, I didn't know that you can't go 128 gigs on the Ryzen series, the 7850X, the 7000 series. None of them. Intel, the newest 13th gen, none of them can really support 128 gigs. So 32 gig memory sticks. It cannot support it. Whenever it does, it nerfs the speed down to DDR4 type speed. So basically you're running somewhere around 3600 megahertz, and the speed at which the RAM is actually functioning at is akin to DDR4. And I didn't know that at the time. I ended up having to get it in order to find out. So that hurt me a lot. So I had to go back down to 64. And then on top of that, I was switching everything around because my mini ITX build died on me. So now I needed a new case. But I gotta tell you, man, this is my first time back to ATX, and I'm liking it. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all what I'm working with now. Let me show y'all the new rig here. I haven't actually made a video on it yet, but man, it is nice. So that is the RTX 4090. The reason why, so this board here is actually really, really long. This is a Lian Li O11D Mini. There's a couple reasons why I went with this particular build, and that was, let me see, make sure I got the right one here showing. Yeah. Oh, no, that's actually not the right one. What's the right one? Oh, I know why. Hold on one second. Let me switch out for real quick. I know why. Let me unmute that. And let me switch that. And let me go here. Okay. Yeah, so that was the old build, and this is the new one. So this is the Lian Li O11D Mini. And basically that is with the 4090. I actually already had Corsair Dominator Platinum memory because at the time when I bought it, that was the only one they had available. They didn't have any other types of DDR5, so I went with the Corsair Dominator. So now that I had the Corsair Dominator, I was like, well, I might as well make the entire rig Corsair. So I made the heatsink Corsair and the fans Corsair, so they're all controlled by the same thing. And then what was crazy is later on I ended up finding out that both the graphics card and the new motherboard that I switched it to, this is the Gigabyte Aorus Master, and I switched it to it because it has 2 extra slots for HD capture cards. So now right below the graphics card is actually 2 capture cards, so that I have all of my inputs, all my cameras, all of my operating systems and PS5s and Xboxes and so on and so forth, and I don't have to use those stupid cam links. It's not that it's a bad product, it's just that they go to sleep a lot. And so there's problems getting it to work. Whereas now I can start a stream. I ain't even got to check my gear. I already know it's going to work because they're all going into a capture card. And so I had to go with the motherboard that supported it, even though Micro Center, they gave you a discount on getting the motherboard, but I didn't want a B650E because I tried that guy and that guy only gave you one slot and it just wasn't enough. So I ended up having to go with this stupid, well, it's not stupid. It's really expensive. It was a $500 Aorus Master motherboard. That was the most I've ever paid for a motherboard in my entire life, for an eATX motherboard in a small form factor case. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 140 millimeter fans, the Corsair LL140s. And because it's 6, that 7 one isn't lit yet, and I have to basically set it up so that it can be lit. So there's a few things I still got to play with, but man, it is coming along very, very nicely. As you can see there, I have the 4 sticks. Learned my lesson, so I don't have the 4 sticks anymore. It does not work the way I wanted it to. And it actually ended up nerfing my my Cinebench scores. So yeah, that is kind of where we are now, and kind of where I am on my build. And on top of that, it's smaller, so I can see the entire headache. Migraine headache cure, or run to freezer, get plastic bag full of ice and place on the back of neck. Migraine will go away in about 80%. Well, worth serving lag. Yeah, I actually at this gym, they have this, like, what is it called? Hydrotherapy. And so you can get hydrotherapy and you can basically set it to just your neck area and it'll just massage you right up the back, the top of your neck and all the way down. It's nice. It's nice. If you actually go to a gym, I would suggest going for one with hydrotherapy, like the, it's like a massager, and you just kind of lay down and you can just set it to just go right up and down your neck. Oh, you do it for that for 20 minutes. And yeah, that's exactly where I went. But that is, it's rare that I get to talk about a build that I'm doing. So wanted to talk about that one real quick here. So yeah, it's coming along nicely with 64 gigs. It's doing okay. And I have it overclocked now to 5200 megahertz. The other one downclocked to 3600 megahertz when I had 128 gigs, even though they were all Dominators. So yeah, it's been crazy. But without further ado, it appears that Diablo has a new live action trailer, and because they do, I am down to watch it. So let's see what they popping with on Diablo. Kind of loud, ain't you?
Hatred has returned, and she shall not relent until she has corrupted us all. But somewhere in the shadow of her darkness, you must cast your light to find hope in a flash of steel, or wrath of nature, or power of flame. You must stand up to hatred, or she will destroy us all. Your time is now.
Okay, so the reason why I was laughing, I was like, okay, so just picture for a second that you're during these times, right? And you got soldiers and you got kings and queens and knights and demons and angels. And then you got this one guy with half his hair shaved, and then the other flows over this way. Like at what time between, you know, trying to protect yourself in your kingdom and dying are you worried about your haircut? Like, I mean, this man looked like he just came straight from the tailor. Like, I just got here. I was like, man, that is not what I would think of when I think of like here, like Mohawk. Come on now. Ain't nobody in this time frame had no Mohawk. Come on now. So, but I mean, you know, okay, sure. Like, I just could imagine a person that was painting all this. He was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm not painting no Mohawk, man. You're going to be bald in this picture. I'm sorry. This is not for the time, unless somebody came from the future and went back to time. Like, this isn't right. Like, somebody's, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, you know how long it took to him to do that? That'd be like somebody being on, like back in, like, the Renaissance time getting their hair braided. Like, how many people do you know in the Renaissance time getting their hair braided? Like, it doesn't happen. So yeah. That's what I feel about that. But okay, Diablo 4. I'm kind of excited. It comes out on my birthday. Well, the beta does on March 17th and March 18th. I think we stream on that day. Let me see. Yeah, we stream on that day. So on the 17th, I probably still will stream. I really like doing this. So hey, it is what it is. All right. So, oh my God, I'm not saying his name. That sounds ridiculous. Can't see external SSD on main computer. Let me switch out so y'all can see. I recently bought a Crucial X6 4TB drive, mainly to swap between my main PC and my portable computer. The main PC is a custom-built desktop running Windows 10 Pro. It's got an Intel i7-10700K CPU and 32 gigs of RAM. What's this question? New firmware, the drive works fine. Okay, so the drive works fine. So I've been transferring files over the local network, but it would be much nicer and faster if it could just plug into my main PC. Any thoughts on why it is not visible? So he has a Crucial X6 4TB drive, mainly to swap between his main PC and his portable computer, but it's not detectable. Let's see. The travel computer on the Surface Go 2 M3, which is super old. You gotta understand that's a Go 2. Running Windows 11. Sorry, I just threw off my mouth a little bit. Oh yeah, that's right. When he was discussing again. Let's see what I said. Yeah, so this one here, I also have an issue with my 4TB NVMe on my main computer, but you may be able to fix yours as it's Intel. Yeah, with mine, with here it is. This guy. There it is. The inland 4TB NVMe, it appears that it may have had a hardware issue, but I don't know. It may not be a hardware issue. It may just be that this brand of new, like the 13th gen plus the Ryzen series, may not actually be able to detect this guy. For some reason, I can't get anyone to detect it, so I think it may actually have a hardware issue. So it may just be the NVMe. So my thoughts on that are still kind of iffy. I don't know for sure whether or not 4TB works or not work on the new series, but I'm guessing I'm not the only person with a 4TB NVMe, so it may actually work. If you have an Asus board, you can set speed_right to false to see if it resolves the issue. This is what they told me to do when I was troubleshooting my 4TB NVMe version, but I mean, obviously it doesn't work on it on Ryzen. For some reason, I didn't get a notice that you replied to my post, so I didn't see this until I was in bed last night. I stalled by saying that I think the issue is resolved now, though I'm still perplexed what was going on. Okay, we're down. I just had a chance to test this out, and it looks like the speed right disable is no longer listed under Tweaker's Paradise, right? Because it's not listed on mine either, at least not on my motherboard. And it is now listed under AI Tuner DRAM Time and Control section of BIOS. Okay, I don't even have that, so hey. So I made the recommended change and rebooted, but the drive was still not showing up. When I connect/disconnect the Crucial drive, it makes the bell sound to indicate that a drive was connected or disconnected, so I know my system sees it. This happened even before changing the speed_right disable, right? Next, I open Device Manager as admin, and I can see the Crucial drive listed under the disk drives tree. So again, it appears that the system sees it, but it's not giving me the BitLocker pop-up to access it. When I manually run BitLocker Manager, it is not seeing the drive. Finally, I went into Disk Manager as admin and saw the drive listed there without a drive letter. Unplugging the drive and reconnecting, it showed it disappear and reappear to confirm that it is showing up. So I manually assigned a free drive letter, and immediately the BitLocker pop-up appeared for me to enter the password, and now the drive shows up in the Explorer. I have no idea why this isn't happening automatically, but at least I know how to make it work. Thank you for pushing me into some different directions. While your suggestion wasn't the answer here, it got me thinking and poking in some other areas. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? This isn't an L, this is an assist trophy. What are you trying to talk about? You trying to say I'm not good at troubleshooting? I am great at troubleshooting, sir. How dare you? No. I'm happy that you were able to get it resolved. I'm just joking here. We take assist trophies here, so this isn't a full L, but it was at least something to get you in the right direction. But that's what they told me when I was having my issue with the 4TB NVMe on these newer version types of software. So, well, okay, one, he has a 10700K, but it helps that, you know, if you have the gear, you can at least test it. But that's what I found out from my testing of the 4TB NVMe. So I'll take the assist trophy, and we will gladly bow out. But I'm happy that you were able to get it fixed, bro. No hate here. Alrighty, Oreos. I like the name. Water. Okay. Oreos. Okay, something I can actually say without feeling dirty about myself. What's your name? My name is Cream Filling. Like, oh, come on, man. I can't say that on a chat. This is a text show. We can't be saying Cream Filling everywhere. Oreos says scan lines on Gigabyte G27F2. Okay. It all started when on boot, my left display would start showing scan lines for a bit, then they would go away. Over time, they stayed longer and longer before going away until eventually they're here forever. My right display is not experiencing any issues. The top of the left display doesn't have them, but the lines get more intense the more you go down the screen. It's 1920 by 1080 at 165 hertz. I tried lowering the refresh rate and only at 60 would they go away, and even then there was still a bit left. Okay, so he has artifacting. So it looks like his monitor is unable to process 165 hertz anymore. It's going out. However, when going through the process of uninstalling and reinstalling drivers, they go away for some time but come back during the process. They return when the installation is finalized. When I click on the button on the monitor and to see the settings, the scan lines are there, but they are not there when the PC is off. Okay. The GPU is an ASRock Challenger Pro 12 gig 6750 XT. I have also tried swapping which display port the monitor is plugged into and switching to HDMI with no solution. Does anyone know any possible solutions? Oh, we definitely need a picture, bro. Oh. Well, that's different. Well, I guess it's not different. It just means that it's unable to process the overclock. That's typically what that means, because it looks like it's trying, but it's just, okay. Okay, so it can be a couple different things. Okay. So it can be a couple of different things. When we were looking at that picture, well, okay, he didn't mention what happens. What happens if you take it down? This is, he said he tried to go 165, right? So if 165 is his overclock, then his real speed is 144. Take it down to 144 hertz or 120. Does the tiling go away then? It seems like the monitor is having issues overclocking to the higher frame rate. You can test this by, well, let me think about that. It's a computer, right? Well, let me see if it's computer or laptop real quick. Oh, that's just his monitor he gave us. Okay, never mind. ASRock Challenger Pro. The GPU is an ASRock Challenger Pro 6750 XT. Okay, so he has a 6750 XT, so he's talking about an actual PC. So, how many monitors does he have? More intense down the screen. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so it can be a couple different things. What happens if you take it down 144 hertz or 120? Does the tiling go away then? It seems like the monitor is having issues overclocking to the higher frame rate. You could also try to upgrade the Radeon graphics to the most up-to-date version to see if it makes a difference. Do you have another device that can plug into this monitor, like a PS5, PS4/5, or Xbox or Steam Deck? The reason why we want to know this is because we want to hook up another device into the monitor to see if it also starts to tile whenever it's at 120, 144, 165 hertz, and only those devices will support that. The Steam Deck doesn't care; it'll support whatever. The Xbox is what, 120, and so is the PS5. So at least 120. That's what we're trying to verify. So we're having him go down to 144 or 120, and then we want to do that is because the PS5 and the Xbox also are going to be like a 120 for the 1080p. So we want to see exactly what they would show and if he's still getting tiling, so we can compare and have an apples to apples comparison. So yeah, we'll go with that. Do you have another device that can plug into this, like a PS5 for Xbox Steam? Yeah. So we'll go with that and give him a couple questions there and just see what he's working with here and see what he says, and then kind of go from there. But Oreos, keep us posted. All right, let's go to the next one here. Oh, that was the scan lines. Okay. Completed. Ghost Case G1 mod. It looks like a belt. It looks like you went into the closet, you got a belt, and you put it on your computer case. Now, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Why is it... Why is it like a burnt white? It's like a beige kind of thing. It's like retro. The case, I mean, it's a nice mod, I guess. It's kind of like if Noctua built a computer case. That's what I think of. Hey, that is kind of neat though. I mean, it looks nice and sturdy, but I think the oh, okay, so it comes down. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. Oh, it actually is pretty sweet then. So it's like a carrying case. And so that in order to hold this part right here in place, you basically put those up and you put them in those little slots there. Oh, that's nice. Never mind. That's a pretty sweet carrying case, especially on the cheap. Congrats, bro. I don't even know anything funny to say about that. That's actually just a really good idea. Congrats, bro. The that Form T1 is it's open at the top. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting one there. Nice. I approve. That is really, really nice. Alrighty. Mini Minute. Oh, that's right. Mini Minute says my screen flash is just an edge. Is my GPU failing or is it an edge issue? Well, the problem is you're using Edge. Well, we got a million questions. Why are you using Edge? Yes, that's literally the main question. What happens when you right click and open in private window? Does the flickering stop then? What happens if you try a different browser? Does it make a difference? Could you do a recording of the issue you're referring to? I've just noticed that this happens when I open a new window too sometimes. It looks the same as the flickering I captured in my YouTube video. Is that flickering normal or is that a problem? I forgot to publish my YouTube video before, but it should be fine now. Okay. What video? Bro, what video? Okay, there we go. I'm about to be like, what are you talking about? Okay, let's see. Does he have audio? No. What did he just show us? What? What? What are you trying to show us? I don't get it. What is this? Okay. Let's be professionals. Is he talking about that little black? I thought he was just switching between monitors. It just looks like a hard cut coming from an editor. Like it's just a hard cut. Maybe. Okay. Well, it's hard to say. Are you referring referring to that hard cut in the middle there? Because to us, it just looks like you swapped to a different scene/monitor. Okay, there's 3Ds in middle. All right. Swap to a different monitor. But he hasn't tried anything that we asked him to do. He only tried in a new tab. Well, it's hard to say. Are you referring to that hard cut in the middle there? Because to us, it just looks like you swapped to a different scene/monitor. But if that is what you are referring to, does it go away in incognito mode? We really need to know this. I don't even want to ask multiple questions. I'm afraid he may not answer. I mean, we asked 4 and he didn't answer any. Oh, maybe he did. Okay, sure. Here's the recording. Let's see. We asked 4 and he replied twice. Okay, that's why it threw me off. Okay. So he's using Edge. It seems to stop when I use in private mode. I'll have to test a bit more though. I tried using Firefox for a bit and didn't notice the issue. I suppose it's specific to Edge, maybe Chromium. Okay, cool. Oh, no, we're done. Well, it's hard to say you're referring to a hard cut because that different thing. But if that's what you were referring to, then here is the issue. If it works in private mode and other browsers then the issue will be with the extensions you are using. I would turn them all off to see if it resolves the issue. If it does, turn each of them on one by one until you find the culprit. Okay, so I'll explain this. So he proved it to us, right? So he said essentially, okay, well, whenever I tried it in private mode, it worked just fine, and when I tried a different browser, it worked just fine. Though I'll have to do some more testing. I'm guessing he tried over the weekend, and he was just kind of waiting for us to reply. He didn't know that we don't really reply too much on weekends. So he tried it over the weekend, and he noticed that everything is fine when in incognito mode as well as in a different browser. Well, that lets us know that you either have an issue with that particular browser or the extensions. For most people, it's typically going to be with the extensions. You can also say what was I going to say? The temp files, clearing cache temp files. So you can also say that as an option, and that's also acceptable. But let's go ahead and go with the extensions first, because I have a feeling that that's going to be a higher probability, right? Because if it was on like only on a particular website, then I would think of temp files and temp folders and clearing that kind of stuff. But because we're only talking about one browser, not in private, the first thing that you want to think of is extensions and pop-up blockers. So that's what I would say for this one here. It appears that his flashing may be because of an extension, and just kind of going from there. Plus, if we ask him more than one question, he's probably not going to reply. So so we'll go with that and see exactly what happens there. Alrighty, Mini Minute, keep us posted, bro. All right, cool. Dramatic pitch. Alrighty, Ethernet connection problem. Okay, I'm back to internet. I'm down. Hi, recently my uncle gave me my cousin's old computer. Jesus. After turning it on, I tried to connect to it with Ethernet cable that I use occasionally on my old PC, only that it connects to the internet randomly for a short amount of time, 2 minutes scarce, 1 minute, and then disconnects by itself, and I don't know how to solve the problem. If anyone could help me out, I would be very grateful. Of course we can help you out. Have you met us? This is what we do. Hi, Imore. How's it going? Yeah, helping people is like our favorite thing to do. It's like our favorite pastime outside of laughing at video game videos. Let's do it. So networking issue, and it disconnects every 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, well, typically if it's doing that, and it's doing that for an Ethernet device that's going directly into a motherboard, it sounds like your Ethernet cable may be going out. You said that you used it previously, or the Ethernet connection itself, not necessarily the cable. That would be silly. So you said you used it before on your old PC, so whenever you try to use it on this one, it caused an issue. So it's a possibility that his is going out, which means all you probably need is a USB to Ethernet adapter. Telling that to you guys, but we'll tell him the exact same thing. Okay, so for this one, it sounds like the Ethernet adapter on the motherboard is going out. A good way to test, since this happens every couple minutes, because it happens so frequently, we can test this all day long. Couple minutes, you can go to start control panel. I'll show you guys here in a second. Network and sharing, and just look. Oh, change adapter settings. My bad. Change adapter settings, and I need help with my Samsung TV. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me help him explain why we're helping this one here, and I'll get to you in 1 second. Let me grab it real quick before somebody else posts. Ooh, meant to do that. I meant to do this and grab. Alrighty, more. Give me copy and paint. I said paint. There it is. All right, give me 1 second here. Let's finish him, explain it, and then I can get to you. Start control panel, network and sharing, change adapter settings, and look at the local area connection. Does it go to not connected when you lose connectivity, and show an X? Okay, So I'll explain this one. So if we go to, let's go to Windows 11. If I have it up, Windows 11. Yeah, there it is. All right. So if we go to control panel and if I can click, what's going on? Okay. And network and internet and network and sharing center, and then change adapter settings. If we're looking at the local one, we're looking for this. We want to see if he gets this red X. You see that right there? So that red X tells us a lot. All right. So if you see a red X, that means that you literally have no cable plugged in. So we're basically trying to see if he has a red X or a yellow triangle. A yellow triangle means that somebody else on this network may be having his IP address, or he may just have some network connectivity issues and we'll troubleshoot it as such. But if he sees a red X whenever he loses connectivity, then that means there's a pretty good chance that Ethernet jack on that motherboard is going out. So that's basically the easiest way to test. Now, of course, you can look at it from the bottom right-hand corner, but that's probably the best way to go about it. So that's the reason why we're telling him to look that way, because explaining it to someone, it's very easy to look for that red X. So basically it's like, hey, just look for the red X. If you see the red X, then that lets us know that you're having issues with the connectivity. Thereby, just go ahead and buy a USB to Ethernet adapter for like $10 and call it a day. In this economy, it's probably like 15 bucks. Alrighty, so let's go to our friend here. Let me open that paint file. Alrighty, Immorte, I need help. I have a Samsung TV and it has a picture-in-picture and I want to play my PS4 and watch TV with my Rogers TV box, but it won't work. Okay, well, what kind of Samsung TV is that? And also, whenever you have the picture-in-picture feature, is it like picture and then a smaller frame? Or is it like, how are they doing it? Is it like picture in picture, picture by picture? There's certain different ones depending on the TV that you have. But yeah, let me know the model, because a lot of that changes depending on which model you have, and the picture in picture function may not work properly depending on which. Also, a good question for that, Immorte, would be with the Samsung there. If you have the PS4 as the primary and then you try to do the picture-in-picture, does it see anyone else? Not just the device that you're trying to add, but does it see anything else on the as far as another device you can add to picture-in-picture? Because that may point us in the right direction as well. So all you have to do is just make sure that PS4 is primary, and then for your secondary one, see what it shows. How do I check the model? So in order to see the model, you want to go down to your menu and then somewhere around about, and it should tell you what the model is. So basically just kind of go down to the very bottom there and it should tell you that information. And with that model number, we should be able to see what your capabilities are for the picture-in-picture. Alrighty, here, while he's getting that, let's go to group 2. I'll close that out. Now we're making pretty good progress. 738, not bad, not bad, not bad. Network connectivity, I'm down. This is a repeat. So this is one from, I think, Friday. Internet randomly cuts out. I think it's getting worse. Okay. Internet can cut out anywhere from 5 minutes after it just happened to 8 hours. I don't know what's causing it, but sometimes troubleshooting fixes it completely. However, if it doesn't, restarting always fixes it. I've tried all the common stuff and don't really know what to do. Yeah, this sounded like DNS. I remember this. Sound like you may have connectivity issues. Try to reboot the router to see if it makes a difference next time you come across the issue. Also, how are you connected? Wired or wireless? I am wireless, but it's starting to happen more frequently. Troubleshooting always says resetting your wireless network adapter, then it fixes, and I looked that up and it said to turn off the thing where your computer can turn it off to save power, but that didn't help. Right. So what he's referring to is I don't know why we're just doing Windows 11. We'll do Windows 10 because we have it. So let's just switch to Windows 10. So if we go on Windows 10, I see your reply. Give me 1 second here. What he's referring to is Device Manager. And then for network adapters, and then right click and then going to, oh, I'm sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. Network adapters, and then right click on here and then properties and power management. That's what he's talking about. Allow the computer to turn us off to save power. So basically turn that off. You want to make sure that's off for network connectivity. That's what he's referring to. So back to him real quick here. I am wireless, but it's starting to happen more frequently. Okay. That fixes it. I looked it up and then said to turn it off. Okay. Okay. So the model is, yes, that is. Let me check it real quick. Alrighty, we'll come back to our homie here. Let's help our fellow compatriot. Let's see here. Make sure that it doesn't. Okay. wanted to open it up there first before we opened it up here. Don't know what it will say, so had to do a quick check. All right, bet. All right. So, right, blah, 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 HDMI, yes, CC, yes. 3 inputs, RGB, blah, 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 dimensions. It doesn't say. Control F, P, IP, picture. Picture by picture? PNP? PI? PIMP? Picture near picture, picture aside a picture, picture down the street from picture, picture at your cousin's house. It doesn't see, for some reason here on the specs here, it doesn't show that it has the picture in picture feature. Let's see. Clear motion, 120. I don't see the option here, unfortunately. It doesn't appear like this guy has it. Now, if you're able to find something that actually shows it, maybe it showed it on the box, maybe that may be a little different here. But when looking at the specs of this guy, I don't see where it shows that it has the capability of doing picture in picture or picture by picture. Yeah, I don't see it from the actual PDF or the printout for this particular device. App signature browse. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, keep us posted. Let us know. If you see something different, then let us know. But that's what that model says. And from the spec sheet, it doesn't mention it. Let me see if this is different from what we just saw. Little. All right. Picture. Yeah, picture. Got it. Picture. No. Okay. So picture IP. By picture. Well, no, we already looked at everything that said picture. PNP? No. Okay, so yeah, I don't see it on the spec sheet, so sorry about that, bro. But yeah, it appears like they may have gypped you on that and be like, hey, cuz my monitor mixing some features, man. I need a refund. I want the picture with the picture, man. I think they may have gypped you a little bit on that monitor there, so sorry about that, man. Alrighty, let's go ahead and finish him out. I am wireless, but it's starting to happen more frequently. Troubleshooting always says resetting your wireless adapter. That fixes it, but then I looked it up and it said to turn off the thing where, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we need a bit of information. Okay, so he has the issue and he's wireless and it randomly cuts out and it's getting worse. Okay, alrighty. Well, okay, so let's do with this one here. So let's start by this. What happens if you plug the device in directly? Does the issue resolve itself? What kind of computer is he working with? Did he tell us? What are the specs of the computer? What are the specs? Immorte, if I can play my PS4 and then I do picture in picture and it says like air and cable, and then below it says channel. Okay. So yeah, in that picture in picture mode there, it appears that it can only do picture in picture with cable inputs, not HDMI inputs. Okay. So the way it sees it is that it only sees analog and digital. So it's basically telling you that the only way that you can do picture in picture is if the other input is a cable provider or an antenna or a television provider. Okay. So the only way that you'll actually get that to work is if the other device is connecting via coaxial, or it is like a cable input or something along those lines, or an antenna. So it's not able to do it between multiple HDMI inputs is what it sounds like, just from what you just told me there. So let's start by this. What happens if you plug the device in directly? Does the issue resolve itself? What are the specs of the computer? So we'll go with that. I don't want to give him too many questions because he's very, very raw at this. In other words, like, you know, this man isn't technically savvy or anything like that. Not like there's anything wrong with it. I mean, you don't even have to talk barely English and we'll be able to troubleshoot it. But for him, we don't want to ask too many questions. We don't want to confuse him. We just want to know, hey, just hook it up directly into the router and see if that resolves your issue. Let's say router. directly plug the device indirectly to the router. Does the issue resolve itself? What are the specs of the computer? And just, kind of ease him into and just ask for the little, and just ask for just regular specs, just so we can kind of get an idea of what he's talking about here. But essentially, yes, we want him to go ahead and plug in directly, just so we can get an idea if his issue is going to be connectivity with his Wi-Fi, or if his issue is just a wired issue and it has an issue with the router itself. So it kind of points us in the right direction, but we don't want to go and ask him like 3 or 4 questions. I'm worried that he may not be able to reply to them all. So we'll just go with that and then just see what he says. So Hawkeye, keep us posted. Hawkeye Mihawk. Oh, is that what his name is? I just know his last name is Mihawk. The guy with the big sword from One Piece. Oh God, something's in my eye. Dude, I just tried to get something out of my eye and pulled out 4 lashes at the same time. Oh God. Ah. Okay, give me a sec. Oh my God. My eye is red. I don't even know what happened. Ah. I thought it was hair in my eye, but I couldn't see any. So I had to take my contacts out. So sorry, you may see reflections in the screen, but I'll live. Is there a way I could do picture in picture on the PS4? Say if I'm playing a game and in the top left, it's a YouTuber. On the PS4, let's find out. I do not think you can, but we can test with you. As soon as it decides it wants to wake up. Come on, people waiting. Okay, so this is the PS5, but it's going to be the exact same settings. So let's see here, because I mean, if the PS5 obviously can't do it, then the PS4 can't either. But we can go ahead and try real quick. So let's try. I don't think so though, because the thing about it is I don't think you can play 2 things at once, and I think that's kind of the thing. I get what you're trying to do, because I try to do the exact same thing, and we'll talk about it here in a second. But let's just go ahead and while it's doing that, let's see. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do. Come on. Okay, so you can broadcast it. You can share the screen. Include your mic's audio. So yeah, that's only for the screen sharing functions. And then from here, we're not really playing Forspoken. Lord, we're not really playing Forspoken. This is for educational purposes only. Okay, let's see. If we do... no, I don't think so. Okay, so if we go down... Downloads, updates, voice, sound, mic, blah, 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 accessories. No, I don't think you can. If we go home, yeah, because you can only do 1 at a time. A lot of these applications, even the Xbox is the same way. You can only technically do 1 at a time. I know what you want to do though, because I've had the same situation, right? So on this right here, this is the ThinkPad X1 tablet, right? And what this thing can do that the iPad could not is that I could have two things going on at the same time. So essentially, if we cut this in half, I would have the top be like if I'm watching a video, and then the bottom part be my notes. So I can literally watch like a YouTube video, or in this case here, I was studying for an exam. So I would study for an exam and watch the video at the top, and then be able to actually have be able to write at the bottom. So what you cannot do on iPads is if they're set like this, you cannot have one this side and one this side and then play them both at the same time. If you have this one active, this one's not. And if you have this one active, this one's not. And that's the way the iPad actually works. So I've had this exact same problem, but I think the only way that you're going to find your answer is on something like this, on something like a Windows device that does that. Now, and what I mean by that is if you had this device, you could essentially have PS5 remote play at the top and then whatever you want at the bottom, and it will work. It doesn't have to be this guy because this guy is extremely expensive. Well, it was when I bought it, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be this, right? Remember, because your gaming is actually going to be happening on the PS5. You're just streaming it. So what you really just need is a device like this. It cannot be an iPad. Remember that it cannot be an iPad, and it has to have some version of Windows so that you can have basically a PS5 remote play at the top, and then at the bottom have whatever video you want. That's what you want. Now, whatever price point it comes to, it doesn't really matter. As long as it has the ability to stream PS5 remote play, plus at the very bottom, you'll be able to play games. This is what you want. So that's what I use. So basically I would even have it like on a treadmill. I would actually have like a video playing and then music in the background. Plus I would be like looking at like video game footage because I like to review, like if I was doing like a raid or something, I would watch a raid and I would watch a YouTube video because I don't need to hear the music. Does that make sense? I don't need to look at the music. So I would just watch another video at the top and then I'll just watch it at the bottom. So this is what you really need. It doesn't have to be this specific one, but it does have to have Windows for what you to do what you want to do. And then just use PS5 remote play at the top and then at the bottom do whatever you want. So that's the best way to handle your situation. That was fun. That was fun. I forgot all about that. It's been a while since I've done it that way. Now I actually have a Steam Deck that I've been playing with, but yes, that's what you would do. That's what that will solve your issue 100%. Alrighty here. This is from Tater Dots. Okay, cool. Nice name. Alrighty. So Tater Dots says, both monitors go black and red light on the GPU. Hold on. So both monitors go black. Thanks for the help. Oh, what's up? I appreciate it. No problem. No problem. It's what we do. Helping people just makes us happy. Tater Dots. I like his name though too. Both monitors go black and red light on the GPU. Okay. So both monitors go black and then there's a red light on the GPU. Okay. I cleaned out my PC recently, and ever since I've been having this problem where both my monitors go black. I get a solid red light on my GPU and I have to restart my whole PC to get it back on. I've tried reseating the GPU thinking that it came loose, but that didn't fix it. Sometimes I can go the whole day without it happening, then sometimes it will happen twice in a row. I have a fairly new PC that's only a year old and the GPU is a 3080. Okay, I cleaned out my PC recently, and ever since I've been having this problem where both my monitors go black. I get a solid red light on the GPU, and I have to restart the whole PC to get it back on. Both of his monitors go black. What do you mean when he says the GPU goes red? Red light on the GPU? Can you provide a picture? What happens if you, well, both monitors go black. What happens if you unhook the HDMI/display cables from the monitors when from the monitors when it goes black? When it goes black, then plug them back in. Does that change anything? Does that change anything? Okay. Also, if the light is red on the GPU, then what is it showing when it's working? Is there a green light? Is there a green light? I don't remember. I don't see like, okay, well, one, he may have a different, like for example, Our guy here is a 3090 and he has a 3080, but this is the XC3. This is the 2-slot version. And I don't remember it actually having lights on it. Like, I mean, it has lights on it, but it's not like, it's not showing a bunch. Like if we go to GeForce Experience, GeForce, okay, apparently GeForce Experience, apparently I'm typing in the wrong screen. But if we go here and we just look at this guy, which is settings, right? Yeah, settings, and we look at it and see that it's a 3090, right? It doesn't show anything. It doesn't show like, you know, if there's a red light or there's a problem. Now, it may be on his motherboard, maybe what he's talking about. So he may be having an issue with it showing on his motherboard. If so, we would go into Event Viewer in order to see that. That would be Event Viewer, and then it would be your Windows logs and your system. I'm sorry. I think basically I started writing down canned replies for different things. Oh no, I only have DNS right now. We'll have to add this as a canned reply. That way we can make sure people check that. But yes, Event Viewer is what I was thinking about. But I don't think I'm gonna tell him about Event Viewer just yet. Let's just see what he says on this one. So eventually we'll probably end up back there though. If the light is red on the GPU, then what is it showing when it's working? Is there a green light? Also, try to reseat your graphics card to see if it makes a difference. Okay, so we'll go with that and let's see what he says. He's already gone into his computer because that's what started the issue. And so we'll just have him basically go back in, but this time do a reseat of the graphics card to see if that makes a difference and then just kind of go from there. But yes, more than likely he'll have to end up going to Event Viewer. So if you want to know the end of this guy, more than likely he probably is getting a critical error in Event Viewer whenever. I'm guessing his NVIDIA drivers are crashing on him. So yeah, but we'll know more once he replies back to us. Alrighty, next cat. Blacked out Form D. Okay, that is clean. Okay, that looks very, very clean. I don't like that. They used to have one where it was like half and like it would go all the way around the back of it, and it was just very, very ugly. I wasn't too fond of it, but this is pretty clean. It's still a pretty nice size case though. And yeah, that's really nice. I like the cooler. Now this is the Air model. It looks like it doesn't have any type of liquid cooling in it. I don't think it can fit with this size. Maybe it can. Maybe it can. But maybe I have to do slims. But still pretty sweet. With some Chromaxes? Oh, nice. Okay, now don't hurt yourself. I'm guessing that's what that's what it used to be. But okay, so that's the gig. Oh no, he even upgraded his oh no, it's the same gigabyte. Okay. That is nice. That is nice. That's a nice build. I'm not sure how he's gonna do that whole cooler situation, but yeah, it's a nice downsize. Congrats on the downsize and welcome to the team. Welcome to the SFF team. Small form factor. It's team LOL. Yeah, welcome to the team. Always nice to have new members. It looks good. It looks really nice. So congrats to him. Nexursis. Happy for you, bro. Minute. We already worked this issue. Oh yeah, okay. So he replied twice, right? When they reply twice, it shows up. And when I don't actually read these, right? Because all of these are just off the dome, so we don't like reading them. So they may show up twice. So that's why I actually add more than what we normally need, because we run into situations like that where they reply twice. So this is from Best Tension, and Best Tension writes Creality CR10 Smart. Okay, well that's a different name. I'm down. Oh, okay, it's a 3D printer. Got it. I found online the way to hook the CR10 Smart to a computer, but also found that the CR10 Smart Pro has a dedicated USB-C. Instead of moving connections on the motherboard to disable the Wi-Fi box, I know there is a micro USB on the board and the USB header for a PC connection. Could I theoretically just add a USB to that dedicated header and have the connection to a computer or Pi through the header without disabling anything? Well, let's see. CR10 Smart 3D printer. Let's see what it has in the back there. See if it has some pictures. Okay. Well, do you have a picture of the back, bro? Well, what does it need the USB for? Because it appears that it comes with an app. The reason why I'm asking is because a lot of times on some of these are for maintenance sometimes. So that's the reason. So he has an Ethernet port and he has a USB 2 port. That may be for maintenance. Let me see. I don't think that's going to work. Product introduction. No, that's not gonna show it. if we go, we need to look at the text, the specs. Let's see. Support, downloads, fax. What kind of filament? Is it able to connect to printer, computer for model printing? Yes, the printer supports 3 types of printing, including offline printing with the USB SD card inserted with USB, printing by connecting the computer to remote printing via a Creativity app or connecting to Wi-Fi or RJ45. Camera can also be purchased for, okay. So what is this question? He wants to control it with a USB port. I know that there's a micro USB on the board and the USB header for a PC connection. Could I theoretically just add a USB to that dedicated header and have the connection to a computer or Pi through that header without disabling anything? It does have that USB port. It does have that USB port, but it doesn't show that to be an option. It appears it's 3 options. It was wired, wireless, and what was the third one? Oops, did I close it? No, okay. It was printing, including offline printing with, oh, okay, with USB, offline printing with USB, okay. Offline printing, all right. Where were we? What was the first one? I feel like it might have been the first one. No, it's not. This is why we close all the other ones, because this gets confusing. Okay, there we go. Okay, close, 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 close. That's just way too much. Okay, it does have the USB port, but it doesn't show that to be an option. It appears, well, okay, it doesn't show that to be a proper option except for taking thumb drives, like the SD card slot. In other words, it appears that it's designed to accept inputs, but not necessarily communicate. So that port, so okay, this happens a lot. This is just 3D printers. This is actually for printers as well. So there are certain printers that actually do have those USB ports, and those particular ports, you would notice they're not USB. They're essentially the square, so the other side of a USB port. So okay, I can show you because it's hard to explain. If we look at printer USB port, all right, images, that right there. Okay, so this right here. So most printers, hi, auspicious. Okay. Thought you had a technical issue. That's all I want. Incredibly flexible. No, sorry, no, can't do that. So this right here, so this is what we're referring to, right? So that port right there. So typically, if it was a 3D printer and it supported communication with the computer directly, what it would actually do is show that port. That's how we know that it's actually just only used for taking in like thumb drives and stuff like that. So if you plug in a thumb drive, it's able to pull in the files off the thumb drive in order to do the actual 3D print. Or if you plug in an SD card and it's able to pull in off of that, but it's not meant for direct connectivity, because if it was, it would show this, right? Meaning that it's able to connect to a computer. So I don't think that port is available for direct communication, two-way communication in order to send files. It looks like it's only just there for plugging in thumb drives. Alrighty. In other words, it appears that it's designed to accept inputs, but not necessarily to communicate. So necessarily to communicate, like thumb drives, for example. Yeah, so yeah, on that one there, I just don't think it's possible. If it was, it would actually say it. So yeah, I don't think that one's possible. Alrighty, here, group 2, we're done. Hooray. Group 3, let's do it. Okay, Xbox, wake up. We got work to do. All right, Xbox Series X and LG C2. Okay, I remember this. So we talked about this a million times, right? So this is the Xbox Series X, LG C2, both of them going to sleep issue. We've been going back and forth with this particular person, but we've seen this issue in the past. If we're, oh, okay, let go of my controller. They're all charging. So if we go to our settings here on the Xbox, okay, my headset almost died. Hold on. they're going a little low. But if we go into our settings on the Xbox here and we go into general and then our power options, this is what we were talking about. And we were talking about basically the difference between the shutdown, which is 0.5 watts, which is essentially sleep mode on a computer, versus the actual sleep mode here, but it only uses 10 to 15 watts. In other words, it doesn't actually turn off the actual, well, okay, it puts them to sleep, but it doesn't actually turn off the interfaces. What was happening is the communication port, the HDMI port between the LG C2 and the Xbox Series X was going to sleep. So either one side would try to communicate and the other side didn't pick it up, or the Xbox was trying to communicate and the TV didn't pick it up. But both sides were essentially going to sleep and they weren't able to communicate. And so whenever you were trying to establish a signal, it would be like at 480p. It has been an issue and we've seen it happen multiple times. Sometimes it'll show a black screen because it can't display a lower resolution than 1080p. So, but in this particular person's issue, he actually got it to show 480p, but 9 times out of 10, it won't even show that. It'll just show a black screen because most TVs are not capable of showing 480p anymore. So we troubleshot his issue. We talked about a lot of different things. His ARC is actually HDMI 2. And we had him try to switch to HDMI 1, 3, or 4 to try to resolve his issue. And that's kind of where we left off on it, I think. And we were talking back and forth about it. And I said, oh, we know you would not be the first person with Band-Aid. That's for sure. Oh, yeah. He tried to figure out an alternative and trying to switch it off of ARC. And I said, yeah, if it happens again, I would try a different HDMI input. I was reading that a lot of these issues with the LG C2 stem from the ARC port. Once it was moved away, it seemed to resolve the issue for other people, but try the reverse next time and see if it makes a difference. He was actually plugged into HDMI 1, but only if there is a next time, LOL. I would not put it past my luck if a possible solution for me turned out to be the opposite of what is usually suggested. But yeah, I'm just going to, sorry about that, going to avoid touching any of those settings that potentially put the Xbox into low res mode and see how long it lasts. If when probably it does, I'll reply to your comment again with an update when I had to, and we will see it when what I had to do. Yeah, and we will see it. Thanks for keeping us updated. We always need closure. We have problems, okay? We need closure. We have to have closure on every issue. That way, how do we know if we fix the problem? We have egos. We need to make sure we get W's out of this. So we'll call this an assist trophy, and we'll save the W if there's a W. But this is an assist trophy for sure. Alrighty, so Aether Seraph, another LG C2 bites the dust. So I'm glad we were at least able to get him working. But yeah, that Xbox issue with the whole shutdown, sleeping, you don't really have all the options that you have on PC, but Xbox is based off of PC. That's where it gets all of its settings from. So yeah, those inputs turning to going to sleep, and then the LG C2 also going to sleep on a lot of its inputs. Yeah, it's a pain. It can be a pain. Pixima MP470. Oh, we're all the way into printers. Y'all know I'm good with printers. Okay, now. It's been a long time since I worked with troubleshot printers in such a high volume. It doesn't happen that often. It's not like I don't know. I troubleshot printers for like, I don't know, 5-6 years. It's been a while. It's been a lot. I've been into a lot of places. Okay, so this is also on Mac. Okay, is my Mac alive? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, Mac's alive. Let's go. I bought a printer from Facebook Marketplace. I've used Canon a ton with Macs, so I didn't think to check for compatibility. Rookie mistake. While the Windows drivers are up to date, the Mac drivers for this model are out of date by 10 years. I can't run the installation, can't return it, could sell it again, but first I would try to figure out a workaround. I added the printer using a driver for a Mac compatible Canon printer and got it to print, but text was enlarged, stretched, and cut off. Any suggestions? No, I don't. Unfortunately, if you don't have a driver, it's not really going to work the way you want it to. If we go to a search and we do, Canon. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't type today. Canon. Oh, Canon. Canon MP470 Mac drivers. Yeah, I don't think he stands a chance here. Right here, let's do that. Downloads, drivers, Mac detected. Yep. This is 13. No, no. That's not what we see. What version was he on? Maybe he's on Monterey. Does it change? Yeah, it's a Mac, bro. But here, let's refresh it real quick. Let's see. Setup and troubleshooting, error codes, blah blah blah. Downloads. All right, software downloads. Mac operating system. Let's say 12. No, it's the same one. 12 and 13 have the same one. So I mean, unless he's on an older version of Mac, I don't see a problem here. Let's maximize this so we can actually see. I mean, what's the problem? I see October 19th, 2022, my image garden version 3.6.6 for the Mac, and that's what we see for, yeah, the Pixma MP470. I mean, that's not what, okay. All right, so let's get out of here and let's take a picture and let's send it to him. Okay, so that's not what we see. Well, we see an up-to-date version. Okay. Let me do this here, and then we'll also send them the link. So, well, when we test with our lab Mac Mini, we see a version from 2022 for the MP470. You should be able to add pictures, can't you? Oh, maybe I have to save it and then upload it. Link, italics, strike through, inline, blah blah blah. Headings. I thought you could. I could have sworn you could. Okay, here, we'll do it this way. We'll just give him the link. We'll do it that way. Copy. Control C. Even though it's not Control C, it's Windows C. And then you mess. Okay, every time you mess that up because it's Windows C, Control V to paste it here, so it messes you up real quick. And then software downloads, and then software downloads, and choose Mac OS version 13. It should show you a download from 2022. Try that guy and let us know what happens. Yeah, we'll go with that because it looks fine. I mean, it looks like it should be able to take that. And so, you know, it shows 2022 and that should be okay. I don't really see how that would be a problem.
In the shadow of her darkness.
Autoplay. Oh, goodness gracious. And this is why we have headsets in. So yeah, I would just do that. I don't see what you see, sir. I see that it shows that the Pixma MP470 for Mac OS 13 and 12 is showing to have a software download for 2022. Alrighty there. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Alrighty, so this is from Barracuda Repulsive, low FPS and stuttering. All right, we're down with an FPS issue. We've been troubleshooting network and printers all day. I'm down with a FPS issue. Why not? Alrighty, so this is from, let's see, Barracuda. All right, need help with low FPS and stuttering on Warzone 2. It's folded meat all over again. I swear. Okay, he has the 3070, so he doesn't have the 20 series anymore. But the FPS and stuttering, I think we ran into this a couple times. It can be memory as well, but we'll see. FPS and stuttering, my FPS is 70 to 100, which is normal for a 3070 in that game. Yeah, I have watched many videos to run best graphic settings, etc., for best FPS performance. How do I get the stuttering to stop? And is this normal FPS or is my PC bottlenecked or something? RTX 3070, 2 overclock 8 gigs, AMD Ryzen 5 3600, X570E AM4. No, this is fine. This is exactly our build. Except that he has a 3070 and we have a 3090. If we go to this guy and here, yeah, This is our build. So it's showing a 5950X, but it's not really a 5950X. That's because of the BIOS update. This is actually a 3900X. It's just that a 3900X and a 5950X show the same way in this BIOS. But anyway, it's a BIOS thing. But this is a 3900X with an RTX 3090, and this guy here gets 100 frames per second at 2K. So if we're talking about 2K. Now, if you're talking about 1080p, that's a totally different ballgame. But at 2K, that's what it gets. And we have a 3900X nerfed. So this is a 3900X in eco mode. So that would be equivalent to whatever processor he's running at, Ryzen 5 3600, I think is what he said. So that's what this would be. And this is going to be from Ryzen Master Software. Yeah. See, it's in eco mode. So this is a 3900X, but for some reason here, it always sees itself as a 5950X after the newest BIOS. But either way, it shows itself in eco mode. So this is a nerfed processor, right? So that's going to be pretty close to what he's running. And then we also have a 3090 where he has a 3070 and we get about 110, somewhere in that area. So let's go ahead and go back to him. So we can pretty much answer his question just right off the bat. That looks okay. Let's see. Oh, this is him talking. Oh, this is us talking. Okay, so we've been going back and forth on this one. Okay. So he did a Cinebench R23 for 30 minutes and scored 8128. Okay, maybe that is a little low. Okay, yeah, that's pretty low for 3600. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I did a Cinebench R23 for 30 minutes and scored 8128. Okay, so for this one, normally we would just troubleshoot in GPU drivers, but due to recent issues we have seen, let's try this. Oh, so we went with the RAM because there's an issue with the XMP profiles. The fact that you did Cinebench for 30 minutes and the device did not crash is a good sign. So do you get the frame drops without even entering the game? Like, do you see the frame drops in the main menu? Also, would try to update the driver of your 3070 to see if it makes a difference, and what resolution are you gaming at? Make sure, okay. Frame drops are mostly in game. Drivers are updated. I have two 1440p monitors, but play full screen exclusively on one. Okay. So he's playing 1440p. He's getting 70 to 100. Okay. Okay. Well, 1440p. Warzone. 70 to 100. 70 to 100 FPS is about par for the course in that game with standard settings. We get about a little over, I say we get 100. It's 166 on the 4090 if anybody wants to know, but 160 to 200 depending on what you do, because I increased the draw distance, so mine isn't exactly normal, but we get about 100 to 120 FPS with a 3090 and 3900X in eco, so you are right on track. What did he say about the XMP thing though? I mean, it did work for 30 minutes, but that doesn't mean anything. The fact that you said Cinebench for 30 minutes. Also, would you try blah blah blah? Flame drops are exclusively in game. But did he ever talk about XMP is already removed? Okay. Well, 1440 we get 100 and 120 FPS with a 3900X in eco, so you are right on track. So he's saying he's getting stutters. So the stutters, my headset just died. So the stutters you are getting, let me charge this real quick. All right. So the stutters you are getting, does it show a drop in frames? Can you take a picture of it? I can show you what I'm referring to. Let me fire up COD in one of these. Warzone, where is, we'll do it on AMD, the Windows 10, because I think I already have it installed. So let's see, battle.net. I can show you what I'm talking about. On mine, the performance statistics are there. So let me Warzone. Give me 1 second. Oh no, it's updating. Reclaiming space. Oh, crud. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, I have a feeling it's going to kick us out. I can do it on this one, but I don't want it to. Yeah, forget it. I'll just do it on this one. It's okay. It's okay. We'll just let that run for a second here while we go back. Can you take a picture of it or a video and upload what you are referring to? Yeah. So yeah, if he's having 70 to 100 and it drops down to 5 or something like that, then that's a little different than if it's 70 to 100 and drops down to like 45, because I mean, it's going to be 1% low. So we just have to make sure that he's not referring to 1% lows, or if he's truly talking about stuttering. Also, if he has VSync, be sure to turn it off. Let me tell him that too. Also, because he's above 60. Also, if you have VSync turned off, be sure to, I'm sorry, turn on. Be sure to turn it off to see if it makes a difference. You can also enable the telemetry in COD to get more information. This is located. Okay, it's checking for updates. Gotta love Call of Duty, man. Switch to keyboard and mouse. We don't care. Oh, of course it requires a restart. This is what I was afraid of. I had a feeling it was going to do this. Okay, it's restarting. Just bear with me here. All right, so we'll just do this here. It is to get more information. This is located. Let's see. I guess we have to wait. I'm not worried about that. AMD. Okay, update completed successfully. All right, I'll show y'all what I'm dealing with here. It's just constantly waiting. Okay, now it's getting somewhere. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. So it's doing the optimization, but essentially what it's going to end up doing is at the top there, it's going to show you all the frame information, and you can actually enable that for Call of Duty Warzone once it actually loads. If it decides to upload here. Okay, there we go. There we go. So if we go to settings and we go to, I think it's interface. And let's see, maybe it's graphics. Display monitor. Shaders. Can I hear that? Oh yeah, you can. Okay, shaders. High dynamic range. That's not it. Quality. Actually, it'd be view. No, it's not. I'm gonna stop talking because apparently I don't remember. I'm sorry, you troubleshoot too many games, man, to remember off the top of my head. Texture streaming quality. No. Post processing, controller, quick settings, audio, interface. Oh, maybe it's the counting network. Import settings, blah blah blah, whispers, network, blah blah blah. Now for notifications, blah blah blah, user agreements, blah blah blah. Okay, it's on here. I promise. I've seen it. I swear. Telemetry. Wow. Essentials. All right. You see that at the top of the screen there? Oh no, y'all can't see that. Why can't y'all see that? That's weird. Oh, here. I'll just make it smaller. Windows 10 and. Let's see here. There we go. Sorry about that. So it was a little bit too high, but essentially, yeah, from right there, you can actually see the FPS just by turning on the telemetry. That's going to be in the interface, which is exactly where I was before, and then telemetry. So I knew the location. Apparently, I just had a brain fart, but that's where it's at. It's in right there. So it's in interface telemetry. All right, let's close this out because ain't nobody here for that. We trying to troubleshoot and help people. We ain't trying to play Call of Duty. Y'all don't want to see my horrible kill death ratio or anything. Okay, did I get out of it? I think I did. It still shows playing now, which is weird, but whatever. Okay, whatever. I'm not worried about it. We'll come back to that a little bit later. Okay, so it's in settings, located, settings, and telemetry. Telemetry. And just set to essentials to see if you can see what is happening when your game stutters. There we go. That way we can point him in the right direction. So just have him give us a test. We need to know, because I mean, there's a very, very big difference between stuttering and 1% lows. Okay, because 1% lows can happen, but stuttering can be representative of a network connectivity issue. So if your network latency is slow, it can present itself as stuttering, and you may think graphics, you may think memory, but it may actually just be your network connectivity or your latency. But this way here, by enabling telemetry and then recording it, it'll let you know. Because if you're getting, you know, a ping of like 150 milliseconds or something like that, a ping up somewhere in that area, 150 or something like that, then that lets you know that you're having issues with network latency, and it's looking as if the game is stuttering. So that may actually be the problem, or it could be frame rates or anything. It really just depends, but we need to see it in order to get an idea if we're talking about 1% lows or if we're talking about true stuttering. Okay, Barracuda, keep us posted. Make sure nobody had questions. No. Okay. Alrighty, Few Royal. Computer not loading 3D games, but isn't crashing system only the game. Okay, I'm down with 3D issues. I have experience in 3D. Yesterday I was playing American Truck Simulator in VR with the Oculus Quest 2 and a Logitech wheel, and everything was fine. I turned off my computer for the night, and the next morning it turned on and no games would load. The main menu for American Truck Simulator is 2D. So it lets me get to that point, and then I click to get into the actual game and it just crashes on me. I can't play any other 3D games like Minecraft or SnowRunner. None will let me get into the actual game. 2D games work on my computer like Vampire Survivors. My computer specs are a 3600 with a 2080 Super. I think didn't Folded Meat have a 28 Super? Pretty sure he did. Those 20 series are kind of interesting. We'll see. Okay, I'm not worried about it. We'll see. Those 20 series have had some issues. We've run into some people with problems with those. 64 gigs of RAM, overkill, but other yeah, it is for you for gaming. Overkill, but other RAM was giving me errors. I know the feeling, bro. We've troubleshot it. 750 watt EVGA power supply. I have put my RAM and graphics card into another PC, and everything worked fine. I was able to play games on that system, but when I brought it back to my main one, it still didn't work. I tried using a system restore point from a week ago and still nothing. I went and updated my graphics driver, and that didn't change anything, and I am on the recent version of my BIOS as well. I don't have any other ideas of what I could do. I would try installing Windows on another drive to see if that would work, but other than games not working, the computer is working fine with Discord and YouTube and streaming from Discord. Okay, so it crashes whenever he tries to open the 3D application themselves, but everything else is fine. Okay. I wonder if the 3D applications, like like if you don't have the Oculus plugged in, will it still open? I don't know. I don't think I have a VR game I could test. So with this one, could you let me know the names of the games that you have tested in VR? I am wondering if it, well, it wouldn't matter. I was saying, I'm wondering if it's the issue is like DX12 versus DX11. But even if I did know if it was DX12 versus DX11, I don't think we could go too much further, because I don't think I have any VR games outside of Resident Evil Village. I think I have that one in VR, but at the same time, let's think about this here. So it crashes. Oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. So other games, could you let me know the names of the games you've tested in VR? Also, when it crashes, if you go to start a vid viewer and then system, oh no, Windows logs, system, scroll down to the time of the crash and tell me every single critical error you see outside of system rebooted unexpectedly. Okay. So we'll go with that. So we'll go with the event viewer on this one here, because if he crashed and it basically crashed him and kicked him out whenever he tries to run 3D, he did say crash, right? Yes, but computer not loading 3D games, but isn't crashing system only the game. Okay, so it's crashing the game, but not the system, but it still will show up in event viewer. It doesn't matter. So, okay, well, you know what? There's no need to say this because it didn't reboot. Single critical error. You see, because it didn't reboot, so we don't have to worry about that like we do have to worry about that with most people. But with him, it never crashed. It just crashed out the game. So if it crashes out the game, let's just go ahead and go to the event viewer at the timestamp of when it crashed, and see if it actually shows him any errors, and then just kind of go from there. Now, of course, we are looking at Windows logs, event logs. Now, there is a software option. So if we go back to Windows 11, do we still have that open? I don't think so, but that's fine. If we go to event viewer and we're looking at our Windows logs, you know, there is an application. That's what I was thinking of. There are application logs. I typically don't go here. I typically just look at the system logs because most things will show up in system logs if there is a problem. So I still want them to go to system logs, even though I am aware that there is an application log, but I don't, it's rare that I tell people to go to application log. So it's just that the stuff that it usually shows just isn't all that valuable, but we'll just go ahead and go with this and see what he says. Alrighty, who is this? Fuel Royal, keep us posted, bro. Why do I only have 3 here? I feel like we had more. I don't know what I did with it, but it's okay. Group 4. Computer keeps shutting down, unable to log in due to program glitching. You know we love glitches. At the moment, I'm completely unable to log into my computer. I remember this. Okay, what would you do for this one would be to restart in safe mode, then uninstall the program that way. Let me know if that works for you. So yeah, he tried to install a program, and whenever he tried to install it, the program is called Cold Turkey. It basically, he couldn't get back into his computer. So we said go to the safe mode and then uninstall the program from safe mode and see if that works. Thank you. I actually was trying this earlier from the sign-in screen. It's just hold, shift, click, power, then restart. For some reason, that isn't doing anything. Sorry if it's a basic question. Well, it depends on well, some laptops and computers may not work with that. But yes, it is hold, shift, and restart. Yes, that would be the command, but it may not be activating as you can't log in. I think you couldn't log in, right? Yeah, as you can't log in. So instead, I gave him the steps, didn't I? Safe mode, yeah. Oh, from a black screen. Windows restarts, blah, 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 and okay. On the first sign that Windows has started, for example, blah, 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 hold down the power button for 10 seconds to turn off your device. Press the power button again to turn on your device. When Windows resets, hold down the power button for 10 seconds to turn off your device. Basically, you have to reboot it 3 times. From settings. No, not from settings. Because you can't get there. And not from the sign in. Because, well, hold shift. Okay, so you try to do that one. But try to do the reboot 3 times to see if that works. Yeah, let's try that. Let's have him do that. Yes, that would be the command, but it may not be activating as you can't log in. So instead, try the reboot for 10 seconds 3 times to see if it will take you to the screen. I thought there was another way to boot into safe mode. I think it was like hold F8 or something. Boot into safe mode, and it changes on every single device. That's why I always have to look this up. Boot into safe mode, Windows F8 or F12 or F10. Pressing F8 key as just the right time during startup can right time during startup can open a menu of advanced boot options. No, it's not gonna be that. That's boot. You can't get there. You can't get there. If it would be F8 then. It's like F12? The boot into safe mode, restart, blah, blah, blah. Select 5. How do I reset my computer to safe mode? Here we go. That's not gonna work. He tried that, it didn't work. And start up, boot into safe mode outside of Windows 11. Choose an option, troubleshoot advanced options. The computer restarts and enters startup setting, pressing, yeah, no. That's how you, that's once you actually boot up and it shows you that. He has to do the 3 option. He has to do the 3 option. Okay, so basically if you reboot your computer and every 10 seconds you constantly keep rebooting it, it'll eventually get you to that screen. He needs to get to that blue screen where it gives him the options, so he can go into the advanced options and set it to reboot in the safe mode. Yes, that would be the command, but it may not be activating as you can't log in. So instead, try to reboot for 10 seconds 3 times to see if that will take you to the screen. Yeah, we'll go with that, and then we'll just check back on him. There used to be an option where you can do that and would actually take you to the safe mode, but depending on the computer, it changes. And depending on if it's set to a quick boot, that also changes it. And then depending on if it's a laptop, depending on the brand of laptop, that changes it. And on top of that, depending on if it is a work computer, if it's from an office company or a company that actually gives laptops out to people, that changes it. So there's like 5 different ways to change that, because you can just straight up block it in safe mode. Like if we're talking about like a business laptop, it could be blocked from even getting into safe mode. So there's a million different ways, and it always changes depending on the situation. So yeah, it's best with this one here to just say, hey, just go ahead and try to do a reboot for 3 seconds and see, or 3 times for 10 seconds to see if it makes a difference. Okay, Key Blue Jay, keep us posted, bro. But yeah, the shift reboot would work, but I'm not sure if it'll work if you can't get into Windows. Okay, we'll close that out. Not a sentient. Okay. Human. Human rights. Screen goes into analog power saving mode. I have a 1050 Ti, 8 gigs of RAM, but my power supply is pretty bad. It should be around 600 watts, but because older and better, my mouse died. What a day. What a day. Hold on. I can fix it. I can fix it, but I have to unhook. Hold on. It's not meant to. Okay, there we go. And then do this. Of course your mouse dies right now. Of course. We'll make do. We'll make do. Had to hook up a cable. Okay. All right, so where were we? So we were talking about 600 watts, but because older and better one, I was using literally stopped working one day for no reason. I was left with a 350 watt one. Well, I mean, it is a 1050 Ti with 8 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's not like it's going to use a lot, but it depends on whether or not this guy is bronze, silver, gold, whatever, flex. Problem is that my screen goes analog power saving mode and stays that way until I restart the PC. Whenever I open a high CPU game, there is no problem with the temperature though. It's around 30 degrees, 35 degrees before my screen goes black. If that was the case, I would simply think it's because of the power supply cannot get enough power to the screen. Why would it have to do with the screen? And that screen goes into power saving mode. But if I wait like 10 seconds after it goes black, there is a USB disconnect sound. Okay. This problem started like a week ago, even though I changed my power supply to 350 from 600 one around 3 months ago. What should I do? Okay. This power supply. His power supply you speak of. Tell me about him. Tell me about him. What is he like? What is he like? What does he like to do for fun? Does he like to do for fun? LOL. But yeah, need the specs of the power supply. Sounds like the ports are overutilizing, or they're not overutilizing, or utilizing a very hot, or are utilizing the power supply to the point where the interfaces, the point where the USB is not getting sufficient power. What was I gonna say? Sounds like the ports are utilizing the power supply to the point where the USB is not getting sufficient power, which, okay, this big yellow thing is in the way, power, which means the GPU may not be getting enough power as well. Yeah, if it's bronze, man, he's in trouble as well. Bronze, what, it's 86%, 86, 87% utilization. So a bronze on a 350 watt, 87% of it. So 90 is 35. So it'd be 35 plus 17. So 45, 52. So yeah. So if he goes over 275 watts, give or take, he's gonna have a bad time. And it's really easy to go over 275 watts, even though he hasn't told me the CPU. Oh, okay. Duh. We need to know what CPU as well. Maybe not get enough power as well. What CPU are you running? But yeah, I think it's power supply. I think it's his power supply. I don't care what he says. I don't care how long ago it was. It doesn't really matter because the power supply itself, if it's a bronze, man, it could be an older one and it may be on the verge of going out, but it's not to the point. So typically, what would happen is when a power supply is getting to that point, it'll hit its low variance and it will just cut you off, right? So it has a voltage detection, but he's talking about a 350 watt, and it doesn't sound like he's talking about a flex. It sounds like he's talking about an older power supply. So it may just be killing certain power to certain areas. Like for example, the SATA cable that goes into the USB slots or is basically powering his drives and stuff like that, or the USB or serial bus. I don't want to say USB bus because I just sound like an idiot. The serial bus, the serial bus may also be losing power because the power supply itself can't actually handle it because let's say it's a 350 watt bronze or something like that. And he's getting very, very close, but he's not close enough that it's actually killing the computer. It's just close enough that he's not able to run games and then request, like for example, graphics cards aren't always spec'd at, like they may be able to go to like for example, the 4090 can go to like 600 watts, but it's really say somewhere around like 300-ish. You see what I'm saying? It can go to that level. So as soon as he tries to go to that level, it starts to shut down different parts of the computer because it's not able to actually run that power voltage for a certain amount of time because he's getting very, very close to the minimum threshold. So that's what it sounds like here, just from what we've seen here. So that's what I would say to this. Alrighty, cool issue. Not a sentient human. Keep us posted. I like these issues, man. They're going all over the place. We went what? We went printer, we went computer, networking, Xbox, PS5. We're having a good time here. Let's keep it rolling. What is this? One Hyperion. Project stand for. This prototype will soon levitate. Magnet and hardwiring upcoming. I want a computer that levitates. That's kind of cool, I think. I mean, what would you put in it? Ah, okay. So it's levitating because you just hire some guy to hold it up in the air. That's how it works. Okay, that's pretty sweet, I guess. Why does he have a mask like Sub-Zero? Okay. Why going through the trouble of having the top part levitate with magnets when you will inevitably have the cable housing connected with the base? Wouldn't it be easier to hide a metal rod in the cable housing? Yeah. I get that he wants it to levitate, but I worry about this because here's the thing about computers. They're not equally distributed. Wherever the graphics card is, that part is going to be heavier. So I'm not exactly sure if you want to actually do that. That sounds like a horrible idea. But I mean, if you get it to work, I'll pay for it, I guess. But if you look like this right here, I'm guessing this is where all your cables are going. And this is going to be where the power button is. So you got to have some kind of cables running. So I guess even if it is supposed to be levitating, even though it's not currently, I don't know if you want it to stay that way because the weight is not going to be equally distributed. It's going to be off axis because the graphics card is going to be like right here or right here. If there is a graphics card, then it can be a problem. And even if it wasn't a graphics card, the power supply will make it go off axis. So I don't know. Well, it looks cool. Looks cool. If you discover levitation or time travel, let me know. Send me the link to the Indiegogo. Send me the link to the Indiegogo. LOL. I don't know how to spell Indiegogo and I'm okay with it. Oh, I did spell it right. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, yeah. I mean, if it goes to Indiegogo and this man figured out levitation with off-axis and a device that is not equally distributed weight, let me know. Because the way I look at it, he's going to have to compensate for one side being heavier than the other. I don't care if it has a graphics card or not. The power supply will make you do that, unless you want to put the power supply outside of the case and put the power supply down here. Okay, maybe that's what he was trying to do. Maybe he's trying to put the power supply down here and then run cables up to this guy, and that will help with the weight distribution. But at the same time, then you got to look at the RAM. You know, like what happens if you want to upgrade the RAM to 32 gigs? That's going to mess with the axis. You know, there's a million questions I have for this, but it looks pretty. It looks like Spider-Man. So we'll just go with that and move on. Okay, I hope you get this going, or you discover time travel or something like that, because that sounds like that is where you're going, sir. Go Saiyan, I remember him. Shadow play causing all DX12 games to crash with 3 to 5 minutes, not DX11. And we tried to do something funky. So we had him with, okay, so when he says shadow play, he's actually talking about GeForce Experience, right? So GeForce Experience just straight off, well, that's where we just were when we were on the Windows 11 PC. So let's go back to here and let's close this out. And GeForce Experience, right, which is right here. All right, so he's just talking about straight up GeForce Experience, okay? He's saying when the application is turned on, he has a problem. Never mind shadow play, right? Shadow play would be this, right? It'd be this, right? And he's talking about like photo mode, game filter, screenshots, instant replay, yada, yada, yada. That's shadow play. He's talking about just without this, just having the application running makes him crash, okay? So let's just give an idea of what he's working with. That's what he's referring to. So what we said to this one here is this, okay, so yeah, like you have made some headway with the RAM test, but I got a few ideas. We're not waving the white flag yet. I think he was starting to give up. What happens if while playing the game with GeForce Experience off, you turn it on? Does the game crash for 5 minutes? Does the game crash 5 minutes thereafter? What about OBS? Of all the recording software, is probably the least impactful of your system. Okay, is that a white flag? Yes, that's a little bit of a white flag, but just giving him an alternative so that if he does need to record right now, he could just use OBS. Now, if it crashes in OBS, we got something totally major. So I did some tests, and for some reason, it made it through the 5 minute mark, and sometimes it didn't. There was no rhyme or reason as to why it would and why it wouldn't. Guess that's progress. I mean, hey, all progress is good progress. Good question. So I started the game with it off, then turned it on and got the crash. So unfortunately, this isn't a solution. Okay. I have downloaded OBS before, but never really liked it. I don't care if you didn't like it. We just want to make sure it works. That's not the question. Okay, but for the sake of my sanity, I don't think I'm going to mess with it for a while. If I do anything, I believe the next day I'm trying this Windows 10. Okay, that's right. So he gave up. If a person gives up, there's no point in fighting it. If he says he's going to go to Windows 10, let him go to Windows 10. I don't think that Windows 10 is going to, well, okay, it's a possibility that wiping may fix his issue because he's probably going to wipe it and install Windows 10. But will it fix the problem? Will it be the cause of the problem? I can't say for sure. All right, well, you do you. If you have questions, feel free to reply. This is us like, okay, well, I mean, if you're going to take it to Windows 10 and do it. I did the OBS, and it still crashed. I put an RMA all my RAM and have 14 days to decide if I want to get another pair. Yep, he's right. I needed to put it in because I was running low on the time where it was free. So I have a while to work on this, but if close to that 14-day mark, it isn't solved, I'm going to try to RAM swap. He's right. So this is why we were trying to get him to go OBS, right? So if you go OBS, so let's say, okay, he crashes every 3 to 5 minutes, right? And DX12 games. So we tried Tomb Raider, right? And Tomb Raider would crash regardless if Shadow Play is running or not. So if it's not running and then he enables Shadow Play, it crashes. And if he's running OBS, then it also crashes. Games load to memory. Okay, that's why it doesn't matter if you run it on a hard drive, SSD, or NVMe. It just starts with the initial boot, but it eventually goes to memory. So if he's having an issue running recordings, then it's going to be a pretty good chance it's going to be memory. So if it's failing in two different applications, if it's failing in Shadow Play and it's failing in OBS, he's looking at memory or graphics card. That's all it can be. So yeah, so he's right. He's right on that one. Is a possibility that it could still be graphics? Sure. But looks like he's already down the path of memory, so we'll just go down that path with him. There's nothing wrong with that. Does any of these two items make sense to you? If the drive selected as a destination to record drive is almost full, so old it's probably on its last legs anyway, will that have any impact on the problem? Because before this, I said it made it through the point of crashing, but no rhyme or reason as to why. Well, I can say the only times it never crashed when I selected one of my other SSDs, not the hard drive I normally always pointed to. The reason I asked because the HDD is from my first build in 2014, back when it was a mass game storage. Since then, it's been used for my recordings. I did find it odd the times it never crashed or when it was pointing to this drive, but I do not know. Okay, let me explain this real quick, just so we'll make sure we're all clear. He has one issue, but the way he goes about his issue causes other issues, right? If his game crashes the first 5 minutes, what also happens in the first 5 minutes? The game is booting, right? So the game is booting. So if it's a hard disk drive or an SSD, it may mask itself as an issue with drives because he only tests in the first 5 minutes. So it's a possibility that it may be showing that, and an SSD may be faster, or it may be having an issue with the drive because he only gives it 5 minutes. It dies after 5 minutes. That's generally your initial boot time. So by the time it actually gets into the game, before it's ready to start, and him having to load his game, by the time it actually hits, he's already at 3 to 4 minutes. So he goes 2 steps and he's down. So in this particular situation, his drives may be masking the actual issue because it only lasts for 5 minutes anyway. And then he said, I heard Wolong gets better performance when you disable your integrated GPU, even if not being used. Could this be a problem? We looked at Wolong, and I don't... trying to remember. That was like a week ago. I don't think anybody was talking about Wolong. They were talking about Hogwarts having problems. But you could... I mean, what was the specs? Okay, so he has the Ryzen. I mean, you could try to turn it off. It doesn't really do anything. Like, no, I don't have it yet. I was trying to think I can show you guys of what it shows, but I can't because it's on this computer and I would have to show this screen, so I can't actually show that. But on the Ryzen, it actually disables the other GPU. So if anybody knows, like the Ryzen 7700 series, I see your post. I'll reply in 1 second. The 7000 series, it will actually disable the other GPU if another one is detected. Hi, this is my question. I can't believe I logged on when you were reading. Hey, how's it going? Ask your question. Go Sane. Hey, we were just talking about you. Where was your ticket? We've done so many. Let's see. Go Sane, go Sane, go Sane, go Sane. Go sane, go sane, go sane. Okay, we'll get there. Go sane. No, tater dots. I know we just worked your issue. I could have sworn I just said this. Group 1. Okay, I'm not repeating his name. I know we worked your issue. Did we already hit? I'm pretty sure we already hit it. I'm not sure where it's at, bro, but I know we just worked it on the stream. But we do so many of these, it's hard to keep track. Program glitching. I see you just asked a question, but give me 1 second here. Not a sentient, shadow play. Oh, yeah, he's right here. Okay, obviously I'm having a slow moment, so bear with me. Okay, so let's see what he says. The current question is the DX12. So to clarify, the timer doesn't when the game loads and it starts when the game starts, but recording in DX12, when I am recording, when the gameplay starts, it crashes within 5 minutes. Right. But see, what we were saying was this, right? So what we were saying was, okay, you don't naturally go in with GeForce Experience off or OBS off and then turn them on later on, right? Normally, those guys are already on, and then you load the game, okay? So typically, in the first 5 minutes of playing is typically the beginning. You don't like go in and start playing and playing and playing, and then you hit record, typically, you know? So we were just kind of making that assumption that more than likely your first 5 minutes experience is usually at the beginning. So that hard drive versus SSD may be a difference. So that's what we were talking about. But I mean, it's your issue, so let us know if that's different. But let me read the rest of what you were saying. So you said, we talked about that. You said, if the drive selected as the destination record drive is almost full, yeah, if the drive is almost full, should that make a difference? No, it typically shouldn't make that much of a difference unless it is above, let's say 90%, then it can be kind of a problem. And if it's a hard drive, it can be a huge problem because the hard drive is already slow. Before this, I said it made it through a point. Well, I can't say that only times it never crashed were when I selected one of my other SSDs and not the hard drive. Okay. Yes, my instant capture from Shadowplay is constantly on, but I pointed the recording destination to the SSD and haven't really had an issue since. It's so weird. Not necessarily, because, okay. So we were originally troubleshooting the issue, thinking that you had an issue with memory, right? And we were talking about the whole memory situation because games load to memory. However, when you record, it's a totally different ballgame. So when you're recording, it's trying to write it to a file as it's recording the content. So if your SSDs are faster, then it's going to record with better, the recording is going to be better, especially if we're comparing it to a hard drive from a very, very long time ago, right? So we're talking about a hard drive from way back when, you know, but back when, you know, SAS was a thing, and, you know, and a hard drive is 7,200 RPM or 5,400 RPM. So it's a possibility that the recording speed of the drive, the write speed of the drive, is not as fast as the computer itself and the actual encoding and decoding that is doing in order to write the file. Does that make sense? So essentially, it's fast everywhere else, but is writing to a slow drive. So because of that, it's not having a good time and it's crashing because of it. But it may be presenting itself as a memory issue because games are loading into memory. So I'm thinking that may be where you may be going about with this. I'm not gonna say solve, but last ties this morning, I didn't have the capture set to HDD and it went through 5 minutes, but it isn't recording constantly, just records the last 10 minutes when I press off. Yeah. So you know it fails in OBS, run it. Or Shadowplay, either one. Just let it run for a little bit and just play any game and just let it run and record. Now, of course, make sure that the SSD has at least, you know, 70 to 75% of its available space. 75% utilization with 25% available space before you actually start the recording. But yeah, I would think that, because I think your issue is just masking itself as a memory issue, because when we start thinking about it and we think about games typically take it from the drive, read, and load it into memory. But when you record, it's writing back to that drive. So it appears that the hard disk drive is really good. It may actually be the culprit here, because the record feature is trying to write to that drive. So yeah, that's an interesting one, man. That makes you think, because I don't really, it's rare that we run into people with hard disk drives anymore. Even my mom has SSDs. So, you know, but the big ones, the big storage ones, I get why people still keep them. I played Wolong for about 6 hours with Shadowplay on doing instant captures. Well, that's a good representation, and then the fact that worked. Now Wolong is pretty good. So when Wolong launched, we went to see if we could help people, right? Because that's what we always do with these launches. And Wolong, we didn't see too many people with issues. It was mostly people just griping, but there weren't too many issues with Wolong. So Wolong's a pretty good test. So, you know, if it goes that way and it seems like it's okay, I would try to do a recording. So go back in, you know, play a game, play for like an hour or so, and just do a long recording and see exactly what happens. Give it like 10, 15 minutes, a little bit longer than Shadowplay. So Shadowplay is 10 minutes, give it like 20, and see if that actually resolves the issue. But yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll think about that one in the future next time, when somebody is saying they're having issues with games loading. However, they're also recording, because whenever we're recording, we're doing a write to a drive as opposed to games loading into memory. Fun issue. I'm glad. What's so sad is that I went and looked at 30 other tickets when we were actually on your issue while you joined. For now, I have to say, set it to SSD. It doesn't crash. I'm gonna, yeah, keep it on SSD, bro. Yeah, keep it on SSD. Don't even mess with the hard disk drive unless you have to. And yeah, I mean, hard disk drive, you know, I get it, but yeah. Yeah, hard disk drives, it's a little bit hard to write to hard disk drives when your computer is so pro. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. You got a 7700 and a 3080 Ti. It's time to move on. I'm telling you right now, as your friend, it's time to move on. I bought an external SSD for the recordings. Now it should be here in a couple days. I'm telling you, as your counselor, and the fact that you have an EVGA, 1000-watt PSU, and a 3080 Ti, it is time to, yeah, it's a trooper. I get it, man. Hey, it's like that 1080 Ti, man. It's kind of hard to let go. It'd be like, look, I know it's broken, and I know half the parts of it are broken, and it's like cut in half, but it's mine. It's mine. I'm not giving it to anyone. I get it, but hey, man. Hey, when you're this far, I mean, hell, your rig is on par with mine. And I'm doing this. So, hey, at that point, bro, hey, it's time to cut ties, man. If you let me know if you need me to attend the funeral, I'll be there, okay? Be like an online funeral for my hard drive. It was a good hard drive. We loved it dearly, and we're going to miss it, but it's time to move on. It's a brave new future out there with SSDs and NVMe's, and it's time to move on. Oh, man, that was fun. That was fun. I love these good issues, man. Hey, I'm glad we were able to work that one. I'll invite you to the funeral. I appreciate it. For sure, but such a wild ride. Yeah, that was fun, bro. We had a good time on that one. Shredder. Okay. Back to Xbox. Man, that was crazy. That Shadowplay one was good. I can't remember the last time we had a Shadowplay issue. Like, sometimes we get them, but typically, like, we've had more with the 6900, the Ryzen series. When that launched, we have more issues with the Ryzen and the Radeon than we've had with Shadowplay. It's rare that we get Shadowplay. So like just doing the recording, like for example, if we were on the Radeon side and we were looking at AMD, and we were looking at this guy has given us more problems than the Shadowplay. So it's rare that you run into that because this guy is usually going to be the bigger problem. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and go to Shredder here. Xbox One X, are you on? Yes, you are. Okay, cool. I have an Xbox Series X. Cool, we do too. I've had it for a couple of years now. In recent, it has had issues loading anything. It got worse and worse over the day until I got stuck on the E200 error for a week. And eventually performed an offline update. This ended up factory resetting the console. Everything was working with minor issues for a day until it reverted back to its previous issues. It struggled in the login screen, freezing and not responding, and does this on all the menus. I am able to open games with the same issues, but getting into the match freezes the console. I have a fine internet and have performed tests to see what the Xbox is receiving it as well. I have searched the internet and nothing seems to be working now. What I'm talking about, can anyone help? Yup. Yep. It's kind of what we do. We do, LOL. All right. Do you perchance have an external drive? If so, hook it up to the Xbox Series X, move a game over to it, and try to run the game from the external drive. External drive. Does it work? That's all you gotta do. So in this particular situation here, if we go over to our Xbox, okay, we got it. And you are storage devices. So if we're on the storage devices, essentially what we're trying to get him to do is have a basically move a game from his internal storage over to his drive. So basically, like, for example, Destiny or something like that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't want to play Destiny. Okay, it's gonna make me play Destiny. I know it is. It's changing the input. Okay, come on now. I'm sorry. It changes the resolution, which is why you see the signal, but just give me 1 second here. Okay. We don't want to play Destiny. I'm sorry. We're working. we're trying to help people. Okay. So move, right? So you can move a game over to your drive. and then move it over to the drive and then try to open it from the drive. So basically what we're trying to prove is that the issue is hard drive or memory. So typically he had me at thinking it was hard drive until he said it kicks him out whenever he tries to do a match, right? Because if he kicks you out when you're trying to do a match once it's loaded into memory, now there are certain aspects of the hard drive that's still being utilized. I'm not saying that there isn't. I'm just saying that once you are in a match, we're talking about network connectivity, we're talking memory, and we're talking hard drive. So it becomes a threefold situation. So it can be anything there. So that's why we're saying that one. It's like, okay, well, let's try it this way. I see your comment. Microsoft Word, please. Or sir, download TeamViewer, give me your ID. Oh God, please don't do what he says. Download your no. Please don't. So I can go into your computer and take all your stuff. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, move a game over to it and try to run the game from the external drive. Does it work? Yeah, so we'll go with this one. Yeah, so we'll go with this one here. And we'll just go with that and see exactly what happens, because we got to figure out if the issue is drive, memory, or network connectivity. Whichever one will work, it's not a big deal. It's just that we got to figure that out. So if he has an external drive, that will answer a million of his questions, because if he has that external drive and he's able to boot from that external drive, that'll answer all his questions, and we could just go from there. Now, Microsoft refund scam. Exactly. Hey, I'm a Russian prince. No. What was it? A Nigerian prince. And apparently I can't access my millions of dollars, and I'll give you some of it if you just give me your email password, your first baby, your firstborn, your firstborn's username and password to log into his account. Like, it's okay. Okay, at some point you got to realize that something is going on here. Okay, group 4, we are done here. Group 5, okay, let's do it. Where we're gonna go with this one here, I have no idea. I just right click and open them. I have internet, but stuff not loading and isn't loading correctly. This sounds like a repeat. It is a repeat, okay. And a million people have worked this, so we're not gonna go too far into it. My past few hours, I've been struggling to figure out what is going on with my internet connectivity to the computer via Ethernet cable. Ooh. So he's wired. The worst case scenario I've had was Chrome not loading most of the sites showing DNS message, and then switching to no internet message, but YouTube loading videos and thumbnails, but videos not starting. Okay. And what do we say? Okay, well, do you own your router or does it belong to the internet service provider? 2 sounds like you have a DNS issue. Okay, because we were talking about YouTube and stuff like that not loading, and it's showing a DNS message, so it sounds like a DNS issue. The best way to go about it would be to reboot your router and see if it makes a difference. It's easier to do that than tell people how to get to their DNS settings, because some routers, depending on which routers you have, for example, what was it? The Netgear, oh, I can't remember the name of it. There are certain ones that will not allow you to change the DNS settings. We'll just go with that. Finally, if that does not fix the issue, go to Start Control Panel, Network and Internet, Network and Sharing, change adapter settings, right-click on the wire connection, go to Properties, then TCP IPv4, and hit Properties, change the DNS to 8.8.8.8 and 8.8.4.4 and save it. I need this. Let me add this to my notes so we can just copy paste, so I don't waste time with the next person to ask me this question, so we can just have it there and ready. Okay. Oh, was that in the right place? Yes, it is. It's in the right place. I'm just making sure. I can show you a video of when I get the internet back and what happens to Chrome. Okay. Have you met us? We love videos. I got dual internets. It's kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Oh, Google DNS server. Yeah, dual internet is pretty sweet too. And with failover. So like if you were to lose connectivity, it'll immediately connect you back. Yeah, there's the it gets real sweet depending when you start to go in the commercial world. But we'll keep him in the residential side because that's what he's talking about. I could show you a video when I get okay. We love videos. We love videos. All content is good content. No, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, we love videos, but there are a million people here, so that's the reason why I didn't make a long post. But let's see what everybody else said, because he probably replied back to them. So I just want to see what else everybody said. Cloudflare, but no success. Okay, I figured out that my QB torrent was causing the issue when downloading or uploading, even a little bit. I don't know why. It depends. It depends on what it's doing, right? So, Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how far I want to go with this, right? So with certain torrenting software, we'll just go with that. We'll say it that way. So with certain torrenting software, I saw your post. I'll look at it here. With certain torrenting software, it has the capability of turning you into a host, essentially allowing people to peer with you. And if they peer with you, then it can change what your DNS settings will show. Sometimes it may show you going to a different location. So they may have the ability, depending on what type of torrent and what type of settings you have set up, they may use you or set up a proxy on your settings. So either use you as the proxy so they can send information to you because your traffic is open. So they can basically, so for example, peering is peer-to-peer, right? So people can come to you and you can go to them. So maybe people are trying to download to you, and because of that, it may have opened up ports. So it's a whole situation. Basically, it's like application-based encryption. So that can be a situation, and that may be what's causing your issue. But it depends on what settings you set up. Nobody's going to know because torrenting isn't legal. So because we are a wholesome channel, we can't really talk about that kind of stuff. So we don't really go too far into torrenting. But yeah, I can definitely see that happening. It really kind of depends on what settings you set. For my primary, I have an Xfinity coax internet with the secondary as T-Mobile home Wi-Fi. Nice. I use T-Mobile as the 5G for my Wi-Fi whenever my network connectivity goes down, but it can get a little shaky. Plus, I'm getting ready to move, but that's what I'm currently using as well. I have that as well. It's pretty sweet, especially when you can connect up, but it kind of starts to cause issues depending on the situation, the 5G and where you're located. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. But yeah, he already fixed his issue, so there's no point in replying. Alrighty, Xbox Series X, we're back to this again. Okay, Solid Professional 67. Xbox Series X won't interact with home screen on some games. Okay, my Series X won't interact with the home screen of my two newest games, Saints Row and Wolong. I like his taste. It's not a controller issue. The Xbox just won't interact at all with the home screen of the games. I can open the games, but any kind of controller input won't work, and neither will the app. Any advice? Some weird name, internet hotspot. I think mobile command. Oh, gotcha. So with this one, let's think. Okay, so he's saying at all with the home screen of the games, I can open the games, but any kind of controller input won't work, and neither will the app. Okay, any advice? Sure. Sure. What happens if you plug in the Xbox controller? It's Xbox, right? Xbox controller directly. Controller directly. Does it work then? Here. That USB-C port on the back right there. Try to plug it in directly into the Xbox and see what happens. That eye autofocus don't be playing games, so you gotta cover your whole face if you want it to change. Sure, what happens if you plug in the Xbox controller directly? Does it work then? Also, does remote play work? Does remote play work? Let me think about that. Yes. Yes. So it's similar to the PS5, but with the Xbox and remote play, you can essentially log directly into the Xbox and then control it. And if you were to log into the Xbox via remote play and then try to hook up a controller, it should. I'm curious of whether or not it will work in this situation. So that's kind of what we would go with on this one here. So try remote play, also try directly connected and see exactly what happens and kind of go from there. So there's not a whole lot to say on that one. Those are literally the two options you will go for if it's not showing it. Now, of course, there's also the option to uninstall and reinstall and see if it makes a difference. Between the two, I think it was, what did he say was the second game? It was Wolong, and what was the other one? Saints Row. Ooh. Which one? Also, the smaller of the two between Saints Row and Wolong, go ahead and uninstall it, then reinstall it to see if it makes a difference. So yeah, we'll go with that. Also uninstall one of the games and then reinstall it to see if it makes a difference. At this point, Saints Row, depending on which one he's playing, may be so big and may be the same size as Wolong. Okay, Solid Professional, keep us posted. I don't think Wolong is super big though. I don't know. I didn't buy the game, but just for me looking at the game, and the reason why you can compare Wolong is because Wolong is a Souls-like game. So you can compare it to every single Souls-like game outside of Elden Ring, right? So all of those games are like less than 40 gigs. Most of them are somewhere around 30 to 37, not counting DLC, of course. But Saints Row has like 1 million expansions. So it's really kind of hard depending on which one he's talking about. So yeah, it changes. So those may actually be around the exact same size. I just left the RGB left behind, but I'll always have much love for absurdity. What are you trying to say? You trying to say my new rig is absurd, sir? Have you seen my new rig? Hold on. This is not absurd, okay? This is beauty, okay? It is art. Now, you know, eventually I'll probably turn those lights off, but as of right now, it is not absurd. How dare you? You don't know my life. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm going through. Okay, but with his issue, he's saying that this is the build that he's going with. Now, to be fair, you can only find the Fractal North in white. So, I mean, I'm sure if he had black, he'd probably go for it, but it's impossible to find the black Fractal North nowadays. But hey, I mean, that's nice. That's the Chromax with the Noctuous. Basically, it's very similar to the NHD 14, but it's prettier with the Founders Edition. Only the special get the Founders Edition. Even I don't have one of them. RGBCW is where it is. Exactly. I want the reds, the greens, the blues, the purples, and the yellows. And I want a different color for every day of the week. That's how we roll. I want every color of the rainbow because that's how I do things around here. I mean, hey, that's a nice build though. I'm not even gonna lie. It's very nice and it's very clean. I like nice, clean builds, but it's very dark. It's okay. In this kind of a situation here, if you don't want to go with LEDs on your fans, you can actually just do regular LEDs, and that would probably give them more pop so you can actually see it. You know, like you can't even see. Like I have LEDs I'm gonna put in here to make it bright so you can see it, but without LEDs, man, it's so hard to follow. So I did some more tests with the crash. Hey, go Sane. I feel like it is a double fault of RAM and HDD. I can make it further with SSDs, but I think I'm gonna do the RAM RMA. Yeah, it's so hard with your issue, right? Because it's masking itself in two different locations, right? Because that 5 minutes really hurts us. Because it's like, okay, well, it could be drive, it could be RAM, it could be graphics, but we've already kind of went about with the graphics. But yeah, by having that twofold issue, it really hurts us. So yeah, I mean, if you still have the RMA available, then go ahead and go with the RAM. I just tried to do RMA with Corsair and it was awful. So hopefully you don't have Corsair because it was trash. It was so bad. It was so bad. I do not wish that on my worst enemy. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're busy, but you're going to have to wait in line. It's going to take over an hour. I was like, can't y'all just call me back? No, no, we can't call you back. The best way to contact us is if you wait in line. I sat there and waited for an hour and a half before a stream and I still couldn't get them to talk to me. I was like, man, I'm so done with Corsair. Just got gray lights and black lights. 70s thing. Hey, that's pretty sweet though. That's pretty sweet. I will. Okay. Y'all got me talking now. All right. So the Aya Neo 2 Retro. I'm thinking about getting one of these, right? One for the stream, but because I'm going to be adding the Steam Deck, right? And so that we can troubleshoot issues on the Steam Deck too. And so the Aya Neo 2 has a retro option, which is this guy right here, right? And the retro option looks like a Nintendo, like a Super Nintendo. YouTube. Let's do it on YouTube. Aya Neo 2 Retro. Okay. Tell me if this isn't the coolest thing ever. That is so sweet. That is so cool. This is kind of like one of the coolest things ever. See, this is why I didn't want to click on it, because I knew it was going to play a bunch of ads. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can just call it a commercial. Sorry, incognito mode. I don't get these options. I gotta run in private. Okay, and we got another one. Okay, we are almost done. Walmart, it's a thing. Got it. Okay, yes, this. Look at this. Look at, you cannot tell me this isn't the cutest thing ever. Okay, it is so cute. I so want it, and I was like, man, I want to have the Steam Deck plus the Aya Neo so I can switch between them so we can troubleshoot both, right? Because this is Windows, but the Steam Deck is Linux. I have the Steam Deck, but if we can have them both, we can troubleshoot between them. So if people are having issues with Steam as well as any type of portable console, we can troubleshoot both. So that's why I was thinking about getting this one, but I'm kind of I'm a little smitten, man. Hey, it's nice, man. I like some of this retro fitting type stuff. This retro look on some of these is really nice, man. I'm starting to like it. I'm sorry. Some of these are getting real pretty, real pretty. Oh, okay. We already talked to him, and we just talked about that. Okay. And yeah, thankfully this is from Newegg. Yeah, 70s thing computer fit. Dude, I'm thinking about it. This is of all the builds that I've done ITX, I've done residential, I've done commercial. This is the prettiest one. I'm not even gonna lie. This mug is pretty. The one that I'm looking at right now with the ATX, because I was on ATX. I've been on ITX for maybe 10 years, right? So we got 10 years. We have, these kind of cases. We have meshaliciouses. I'm not even sure how you say the plural meshalicious. So meshalicious, we have those. I have Sligers. I have all kinds of ITX cases. I went so far away from ATX that I never even had plans on coming back until we started to figure out that people really needed our help and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to make it as useful as possible. Until this, that's the reason that made me go back to ATX. But this is kind of like an ATX feel in a small form factor case. And I'm really digging it, and this is the nicest looking build that I've ever had. All of my builds have been small, portable, fit-in backpacks, but this right here with the 4090 is clean. It is so clean. I love this build. I miss not having 4 sticks of RAM, but 64 will do. So yeah, I'm starting to get into it. Like I started, like everybody was showing, like we used to do, like every like maybe 2 or 3 people we help, we look at somebody else doing a build, right? And so we'd be like, and we'll comment and stuff like that. So every time we've seen it, I start to get more and more jealous. I'll be looking at they build and then look at mine and then look at they build and look at mine. And I'll be getting mad at myself. Like, why does everything is sitting in like a fractal define R6 or some kind of crazy case that's like 4 or 5 years old, and everybody else got these nice cases and got like backgrounds and stuff. And I'll just be hurt. I'll be sitting here, oh yeah, I'm not jealous at all. And I'll just be like seething in my head. Like, okay, I need to upgrade at some point. So I'm glad that it's coming along. I need to do a few things. So this reason, okay, now I'm talking. Okay, so the reason why I got the Lian Li O11D Mini. So let me explain this. So, because most people don't know this. So the Lian Li O11D Mini. Okay, is it a kind of a annoying type case? Yes, it is. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, because it can only fit an SFX power supply, but it can fit an ATX motherboard. Mine is an EATX motherboard, and it still fits it. But the reason why you go with this one here is because this glass screen can be replaced with a tablet. So you can actually have a monitor on your front screen of your computer. So you can literally take your computer with you, and on the front of it is a monitor. Like, it is so clean. Let me show you. Hold on. And my monitor, my screen is actually coming in today. Lian Li O11 Mini monitor mod. I think that's what they call it. Monitor mod. This right here, this person here is what made me do this. He is the reason for all of this. I don't know who this is. Ace Z or whatever. You see how clean this is? Do you see how clean this is? Okay, right there. Okay, see that? See that? That is a screen in front of his case. Okay, and then in the back, he has everything else. That is the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know what I would use it for, and I still want it. That's how clean that is. Just, oh my God, it's just the ideas that came in my head. Like, I can put my chat here and see my chat, or I can travel with my case and then already have a tablet already hooked up. Like, it's just a million things that I can do with that front screen. It is going to be so clean. Yeah, so this is Persona 5, but yes, you can do other things as well. Let's put it that way. But yeah, it's a straight up a tablet, and it's basically going into it. And on the O11, you can route the cables to the back of it and go into the graphics card, or you can use a USB-C to HDMI. So basically, it just acts like a second monitor, and now you put whatever video you want to on it. And so yes, you can basically turn that front glass panel into an actual screen. It's gonna be so clean. I am so ready for it. I'm so ready to do this monitor replacement. Obviously, we're not going to do it during the stream, because every time I touch this thing while we're doing streams Monday through Friday, we have a problem. But this This right here is what made me do everything that I've done so far. Yeah, I mean, it is clean, bro. I'm sorry. When I started seeing this, I was like, okay, obviously my old ass is behind because this right here is clean. And I'm just like, oh, no, I just need my ITX bill. No, I just need fans and good cooling and positive airflow. And no, you need this. You need colors in your life, apparently. Okay, I'm done geeking out over that. Okay, did we work this? Oh, nice. Wow, I never use it that much. I have internet, but stuff's not loading. Yeah, I think he tried DNS Cloudflare, but no success. Oh, yeah, okay. This is the person that figured out his issue, didn't it? Oh, yeah. He already figured out his issue. So I think we're good on here. Stream from mobile device. Yeah. Alrighty. PlayStation. Hey, we haven't worked the PlayStation all day. PlayStation, are you up? You're up. PlayStation's ready. Let's do this. Hey, I need some help. Okay, we're down. We always help. So I bought Wreckfest about a... What the hell is that? I've never heard of that game before. Wreckfest? Oh, okay. A card game. Got it. Where were we? Here? 5. Okay, so we bought Wreckfest about a year ago. Got 3 DLCs and played it. I deinstalled it some time ago. When the new stream feature came in, stream feature? I played it via streaming for a bit. Okay, I'm guessing he's streaming it from another computer. Now my PS Plus ran out and the game is locked by PS Plus, right? Even though I bought it for 30 euros before the streaming thing even came to PS4. Okay, I can explain this. So, all right, so if we go to PlayStation Plus, right? Okay, apparently I'm not logged in. I'm not logged in. All right, that's fine. I'm not gonna log in right now. But if you go to the PlayStation Plus store and the PSN, okay, there are certain games that if you purchase them and then it becomes available on the PSN store, it appears that it may have given him a problem because I think he may have purchased it, but it became available. But because it became available, it doesn't realize that he bought the game. So yeah, that can happen. So, and on top of that, especially people ran into this problem, the biggest time this happened is with Final Fantasy, right? So Final Fantasy, the new one, the 7, the remake, right? So the remake came out and then they had a PS5 version and then they made a DLC with Yuffie, and they've made multiple DLCs. And basically, if you had the PS5, you can have the PS4 version plus the PS5 version plus the DLC, so on and so forth. And people who bought it were having problems playing it on the PS4 because it had the PS5 version, and it became a big mess. And this is the exact same thing, just in reverse, just with him paying for it and then it going to the PlayStation Store. Before that streaming thing even came to PS4, I already tried that license check thing, but it doesn't work. Can anyone help me, please? Well, if you, it's hard to do it without having access to the PlayStation Store. Well, if you go to the PlayStation Store and look at your past purchases, does it show it there? Did I not spell PlayStation right? Really? That's what we're doing today? We need caps in PlayStation? Is that what we need? Okay. And look at your past purchase. Does it show it there? If it does, then uninstall the game and reinstall it from your library. More than likely, you downloaded the game from the PlayStation Plus app for the free game instead of your actual library. So it was disabled when you lost your PlayStation Now subscription. It's called PlayStation Now subscription or PS Plus. PS Plus subscription. PS Plus subscription. So yeah, that's what happens with that, and it can happen, right? Because I think that what's happening with the PlayStation here is that, like, for example, when we're looking at our games here, storage. Okay, and we go to console storage and we're looking at our games, right? I think the games change up depending on, like, for example, Ghost of Tsushima, right? So Ghost of Tsushima is showing PS4. I'm wondering, none of these games are games that you get from the store. Multiverses. I got Multiverses from the store. No, I didn't. Didn't I? It was free though. It was free, so that doesn't count. Multiverses was free. So I'm wondering, you know, where it says it at the bottom here, I wonder if there is one for the PlayStation Now. I can't see it right now because I'm not logged in, but I'm wondering if that is the case because it doesn't show some of my older games that I have from PlayStation Now. So I'm guessing that may be the situation where he has to just download the game from his library, from his PlayStation Plus account, and not necessarily, I'm sorry, not from his PlayStation Plus account, but from his actual library, his online subscription, and re-download the game that way. Because I think the one that he downloaded is the one from PlayStation Plus that was free. So I think that that's what's happening with him. Okay, well, that dude, I'm not about to call you an idiot, bro. I don't know you like that. so don't ever call yourself that, bro. Because words have power, especially when you talk about yourself like that. Don't do that. So, Mr. Dude, I hope that helps. Keep us posted, bro. Alrighty, Group 6. And I mean, it's an interesting looking game. I never played it before, but I mean, it looks cool. I've never been the biggest in car games, but I mean, hey, if it helps people, hey, whatever. I'm down with helping people. Pro tip, don't pay for subscriptions, only pay for PC. This way you aren't locked out. Yeah, getting locked out is kind of iffy, man. I always wondered about that, but this is coming to bite us. We've seen this before on Xbox. I think we've seen it before with people having issues where, you know, they'll buy it on like the Game Pass or something like that, or they'll have the Game Pass and they actually bought the game and then the game turns into a game on Xbox Game Pass, and now they may get locked out because they don't pay for their subscription. So yeah, it can get real nasty like that. But PlayStation, I think PlayStation will still let you download that game. Like, I don't remember ever having a problem downloading a game without PlayStation Plus and just by having it in my library, but you have to choose it. So I think that maybe what's happening with him is that he has to choose it. All right, so make sure it's not playing any audio for you. No, y'all good. Y'all good. Okay, last group and we be good. Oh, 9:30, so we're finishing out. So we'll do these, we'll just spitfire right through these. Maybe we should, or maybe we shouldn't. Okay, yeah, these aren't really questions. Okay, Xbox Series X console won't connect with my Xbox app anymore. Keeps coming up as error, try again later. Xbox Series X console won't connect to my Xbox app. I don't even remember unlinking my console ever. It just automatically disconnected from my Xbox app. I used to download games from the app straight to my console. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Then one day I tried to log in and download a game and it said I didn't have console set up. So I hit set up existing console, which had my profile. So I clicked it and it said error, please try again later. It's been doing the same thing, error. Any quick fixes? Yeah, update. Yep, update. So uninstall the app from your phone and reinstall the app. Reinstall the app so it has the latest version, and reset your Xbox back up to see if it makes a difference. Also, make sure there are no updates for your Xbox. All right, that's how we'll roll on that one. That one's pretty straightforward though. So yeah, just basically just uninstall, reinstall the app. It sounds like you may have an update, and typically when you have an update, it causes this type of an issue where you lose connectivity. So I would suggest just to go ahead and uninstall the app altogether and then reinstall it and start over. PC can be a good night lamp. That's too much. That's too much. We were just talking about colors, and okay, my colors is just like bright at that level. Like if you go too far, then you literally create a glow light. Like that is a night light. How would you ever go to sleep? Like you can find every cable, every connection. I mean, that is super bright, bro. Like that is, oh my goodness. Like if you ever need a night light, that's it. You can even turn it like blue and it can kill mosquitoes when they go into your case. It can be like neon and catch mosquitoes. Yo, that is the best looking fly trap mosquito fly trap I've ever seen. Yo. Yeah, you have to clean all the mosquitoes out of your fans. That's gonna be gross. Like, I really hope that that's not what that is. We like dead bugs lying around the front of his PC case. Oh my goodness, like the lantern graphics. Yes, exactly. Super 4K. You can see it even in the dark. That is a case. Of all the cases, that is a bright one. That is for sure. That's actually pretty cool to light up your room, though. I'm not even gonna lie. It looks like there's fusion going on in it. Exactly. It's like Super Saiyan PC. Wow. Congrats, I guess. But man, that is a heck of a nightlight. I've never tried turning off all my lights and just straight up looking at it, but that is it. That is definitely it. You don't even need lights at one point. I mean, it's already gonna be the price of like all the lights in your house. So I mean, good Lord. Congratulations. Atomic Heart. Hey, when's the last time we had an Atomic Heart issue? What was it, like 2 weeks ago? Alrighty, Atomic Heart. We'll do this one, and I think the other ones are pretty straightforward. PS5 issue while playing Atomic Heart. In a 15-minute span, my PS5 turned itself off without any warning. Refused to turn back on when it needed to rebuild twice. Both times while playing Atomic Heart. I've never had this happen before. Does anyone know what could be the issue? Rebuild. Okay, sounds like the download may be corrupted or the save file may be corrupted. I would just keep an eye on it, but if it happens again, I would uninstall the game and reinstall. The reason why I'm saying this is because if it turns out to be that the save file is corrupted, go ahead and finish playing. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't want, well, of course you can always still download the save file from the actual PS5 cloud. So there is a possibility that it can still be saved, but just go ahead and keep playing it. And if it gives them a problem again, just go ahead and uninstall and reinstall. So yeah, that's what I would say for this one, because I'm pretty sure even without a PlayStation Plus membership, you get cloud saves. Okay, my memory is construed because I think of the Switch and the Switch gaining that feature. Whenever you had the Switch Online membership, you had the ability to save. But I'm pretty sure cloud save works regardless if you have PlayStation Plus or not. Okay, just don't quote me on it because I can't remember. It's hard for me to remember text, but I remember all pictures. I'm pretty sure that you can still do it, but that's the only reason why I'm saying for him to keep playing. I would just keep an eye on it, but if it happens again, I would uninstall the game and reinstall. So yeah, we'll go with that. Alrighty, Andrew, hope that helps. Alrighty, two more and we're done. Hazel, how to fix this? Pops up when get an invitation to join a group in the game. Bro sends it from his PC. Target game intent type is not allowed. Please make sure you have placed param.json properly and make sure it's content. And make sure it's content. Parameter JSON. So basically, okay. Are you two using the same? Sorry, my fan started to click. I was like, is something going on with my PlayStation? Okay, are you two using the same account? What is that sound? Okay, I'm guessing it was the fan. Y'all can't hear it because this guy has crazy good noise canceling. Are you two using the same account? Okay, it's this. Okay, whatever. Are you two using the same account to party each other? Because if it's an online game, it can trigger an error as you are not using different accounts. Are you two using the same account to party each other? Because if it's an online game, it can trigger an error as you are not using different accounts. We'll go with that. See what he says. If he says yes or no, we'll go further. But typically when you run in these kind of situations, okay, parameter JSON properly. So it's basically the parameters that it's using in order to add you is a problem because I'm guessing it's running into an error and it's crashing the program. So it appears that it's a possibility that that you may be having issues connecting to him or him connecting to you, but y'all may be using the same account. So we just want to make sure that that's not the issue because that's the first thing that people will check. All right, and the last one, NVIDIA MSI RTX 4080 Supreme, which is the liquid cool version. X Lian Li Demon Slayer build. Hey, it looks kind of like mine, or what mine is supposed to be. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, that's way too clean. Hold on. Let me get out this. Let me get out a sound. Oh, it doesn't have sound. What? How you not gonna have sound? I ain't gonna lie, that's clean as hell. That's clean. That's clean. And I love purple. Purple's one of my favorite colors. Hence why mine is currently purple. Okay, yeah, that is clean. I'm not gonna lie, that's clean. Yeah, that's clean. Yeah, that's clean. Purple is one of my favorite. Wow, can't spell at the end of the day. Favorite colors. Congrats, bro. Awesome build. Y'all done got me bit. I've been running ITX for 10 years. Now all of a sudden I'm trying to do colors and ATX and EATX. Goodness gracious. But yes, congrats. That is very, very pretty. Very, 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 very pretty. And that's a good way to end the day. So we'll call it on that one. Oh my goodness, what a day. We had so much fun. We helped so many people. We helped like 50 people. I can go to sleep good at night. We helped so many people. Alrighty, forum. Oh man. So we will be on tomorrow, of course. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions or if you have any concerns, obviously you can reach me on the YouTube channel. You can reach me on here and we can troubleshoot these issues live. Eventually we'll be able to actually do calls with people, but we'll get there. And if you like this video, go on the like button. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best. And bye. I will see you.